Oh yeah, is it Tuesday already? Is it time to predict yet another episode of The Acolyte? Episode 4 is today, and we honestly have no idea what we are in store for today, but we're going to predict all of it. We got some crazy predictions, we got some not so crazy predictions, but we're going to get into all of it. What's up, guys? It's Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars. Yes, we didn't have a stream over the weekend. I understand. I went to Fan Expo Boston instead. Shout out to any of you guys who were there. That was a lot of fun, but we're back in business today, okay? Because we got an episode of The Acolyte in 7 hours, and this is going to be a big one. The reviewers saw the first 4 episodes of this show. This is the 4th episode. From what we've heard, it's a very good start to the show, but we have no idea what's coming in the back half of this season, because we're probably going to see the majority of the scenes that we saw in the trailers, the bajillion trailers that we have for this show, in tonight's episode, as we might be getting, finally, the fight in the forest between these 8 Jedi and Darth Zipperface, the mysterious Sith Lord that we've been like, who the hell is this guy? Who's under the mask? Darth Zipperface. So let's talk about it. How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon? What's up, chat? It feels like forever. No, 5 ever since we streamed, and it feels good to be back. So what's up, chat? How we doing? Let's say hi to everybody. Pedro, what's up? Jack Robbins, how we doing? B-Man, what's up? Navarro, how we doing? The Lowdown Show, nice, what's up? Tony, what's up? Connor, how we doing? Brandon, Ben, Chris, what's up? Nico, how we doing? Star Wars Politics in the building. John Groom, what's up? Starship 66, how we doing? Mando United, what is up? Mr. Beckham, Darth Fracas, what's up, Darth Fracas? Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. Abby, how we doing? I think I hit everybody. Oh, Maria, what's up? If I missed you, just yell at me in the chat. You know the deal. You know the deal. Brady Blake, what's up? Kramer, how we doing? Officer Murdoch, what's up? Fearless, what's up? Clemenita, if I said that wrong, I apologize. Okay, throw your craziest predictions in the chat. Plo's production. Okay, Plo, we're going to be talking about Plo Koon today quite a bit, because I actually think, and this is going to be my bold prediction of the day, my bold prediction of the day is Plo Koon's going to be in today's episode. I didn't even put him in the thumbnail. I didn't even put him in the title, because I'm just gonna say it. So for those of you who are here during the live stream, you're going to hear me talk about it. Plo Koon is in the episode tonight. That's my prediction, my bold prediction. And we'll get to it later on in the stream why I think I'm so correct with that. But throw your craziest predictions in the chat right now, because this 4th episode is an interesting one. We're coming off of a very divisive episode in episode 3. As you can tell, the last 7 days in the Star Wars fandom have been quite a crazy one. Crazy ones, I should say. As last week's episode with the flashbacks to Brendock 16 years ago from only Osha's perspective really... I don't really even know what it did. It did a lot. I personally liked it a lot more than a lot of other people did, but we are going back to current time in this show, where we have May and Kymir going off to Kofar to possibly murder Kelnacca, the Wookiee Jedi, who's living in Shrek Swamp. And we have the Jedi going back to Coruscant to get back up to go save Kelnacca. Will they be too late? Will Kelnacca die? We're going to talk about all of it today. I'm actually going to start up a poll right off the bat here. And if you haven't liked the stream, what the hell are you waiting for? Like the freaking stream. But that's just what the poll said before. All right, let's do this. The first poll today is or I guess the second one. You think Kelnacca will die tonight? What do we think? Yes or no? Do you think Kelnacca is going to die tonight? Are May and Kymir going to be successful in their mission to murder the Wookiee Jedi? It feels so good to be back. Right off the bat, we're about 70% of you saying yes. Wow. Okay, we'll see. We shall see. I'm going to leave that poll up there for quite a bit, but what do we think, chat? Is Kelnacca going to die tonight? If I were a betting man, and I know I'm not, but if I were a betting man, I would probably say yes. We've already seen May murder Indara and Torben. Torben's a little bit of a kind of a, he poisoned himself. But she did successfully kill Master Indara, who's a fully trained Jedi Master. So she has the capability to do so. You throw in the fact that he's a 7-foot-tall Wookiee, that's a little bit more difficult, but I still think she will be able to do so. Yes. Kelnacca is a female, not a guy. What? I'm pretty sure Kelnacca is a guy, no? I'm like 92% sure. Hang on. Kelnacca, the Acolyte, guy, question mark? I don't even know how to put this. Well, he's obviously played by a guy. Jonas. But is the character a guy? I'm pretty sure it's a guy. Like 92.5% sure. Himself. Yeah. He's a Wookiee Jedi. Kelnacca sequestered himself. Boom. Guy. Got it. He's a loner who lives in solitary confinement. Yeah, why would you do that to me, Joseph? Why would you do that to me? You're making me look stupid up here. I'm just kidding. All right. Where was I? Okay. Plo Koon says, I think they're going to wait to get more of a backstory for Kelnacca before they kill him. Okay, that brings me to my next question then. Do you guys think tonight we will be getting more flashbacks? We know there's a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of unanswered scenes from the trailer. I made a full-on video about this yesterday, about all these scenes from Brendock 16 years ago that we didn't see last week, even though that was the flashbacks. So we're going to be getting more flashbacks at some point in this series. But my question to you is that tonight? Are we going to get more flashbacks in tonight's episode 4? I actually don't think so. I think we're going to wait at least 1 week, if not 2, if not maybe even 3 weeks, till we get the flashbacks in what actually happened on Brendock. A lot of people in the comment section of yesterday's video were saying how the director who did episode 3 is also the same director who did episode 7. And maybe that's because that's where both flashback sequences take place. I don't want to believe that, because that would mean we have to wait 3 more weeks until the flashbacks come back, and that's the penultimate episode. And I don't really want that to be the penultimate episode, just explaining what happened on Brendock, because we kind of already have an idea of what happened on Brendock. But I think there's a lot of different twists and turns coming our way in the back half of this season that we don't even know yet. Like, we can't even fathom yet because we don't know enough information. But I think the flashbacks are going to be a lot sooner than episode 7. I would certainly hope so. But what do you think? Jack says, well, will we be 4 episodes? There will be 4 episodes where May is trying to kill Sol in every episode until the finale? No, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of twists and turns coming that we don't even know yet. Like, she's trying to murder Jedi right now. Yeah, she's already halfway there. She killed Torben. She killed Indara. Easy for me to remember. She's on her way to kill Kelnacca now, and then Sol's the last one on the list. I don't think she's going to successfully kill Sol, but that means there's a lot more story to be told, because we're not even halfway done with this show yet. And we think we know everything, when clearly we don't. John Groove says, I do think that he will die, whether it's tonight or not, but who knows? I was thinking it could have been last week, but now I'm thinking it's probably going to be tonight. I don't know if they'll push it off another night. Like, here's the thing. We're going either to present day in this episode, or we're going back to flashbacks to Brendock. And I don't think we're going back to Brendock. So I think we're going present day today. And currently, we got May and Chimere on their way to go to Kofar and murder Kelnacca. It's whether they're successful or not. That's the biggest issue. Then, of course, comes the question, is Chimere the Sith Lord? What do we think, chat? Is Chimere, this smuggler-looking handsome fella, is he going to be, under the mask, the Sith Lord, Darth Zipperface? What do we think? Fearless says, or he does die, and we will see a cool Wookiee Jedi fight. We're definitely going to see some cool Wookiee Jedi fights. That is for sure. Maybe him fighting against May, but also we're going to see him in the flashback sequences, whenever that happens, fighting against Sol and Torben, at least. Definitely Chimere? I don't think so. Yes, Chimere. Yes, no, yes. He's definitely Zipperface, but not the Sith Lord, who is the Master. That's true. But technically, an apprentice is a Sith Lord. Darth Vader was a Sith Lord. Darth Maul was a Sith Lord. I don't think so. Maybe Kelnacca dies. Sith Lord. Okay. Zipperface is someone else. It'll be a big surprise. Interesting. Chimera maybe is the actual apprentice of the Sith. Interesting. No, yes, no. We're all over the place here. Maybe we should pull it up. Should we pull it up? I feel like we just opened this poll, but maybe we should pull it up again. Maybe we should. Let's drag this over there. Do this over there. Do that over there. Okay. Where was I? Mando United says, I think he will die, saying Kelnacca. Then we will get loads of flashbacks in other episodes. Yeah, this is not the last time we're going to be seeing Kelnacca, even if he does die. And of course, the reason that we think he's going to die is because of his lightsaber being wielded by Jackie in a fight against Darth Zipperface, meaning she probably picked it up off the ground after his body was dead. Now, there are a few scenes. Where was it? This one, I think, right? There's so many freaking trailers that I forget which is which. I think it's this one. Maybe not this one. One of these trailers. This one? Not that one. It's this one. It's definitely this one. Okay. So let's talk about my favorite theory coming into tonight's episode, and that is Plo freaking Koon. Okay? Okay? You know the guy? You know the man? If you don't know the man, let me show you who I'm talking about. Plo Koon. Plo Koon. Dave Filoni's favorite Jedi Master. A lot of other people's favorite Jedi Master. He's a cool character. He's not my favorite by any means, but he is a very cool character. Not a lot of screen time, not a lot of story development, but he is a cool-looking dude. He's the guy, this guy right here, who got Ahsoka to the Jedi Order. Now, I think he will be in tonight's episode, and here's why. First of all, when he dies, in this scene actually right here, when he gets shot down by the clones during Order 66, he is 385 years old. 385. This show takes place about 80 to 100 years before that. Actually, no, 100 years before this event right here, Order 66. So 100 years before. So he'd be about 285 years old. So it's possible that he is definitely alive at the time of the Acolyte show. It's just whether or not he is going to be in it. Exhibit A. Right here in the first ever trailer for the Acolyte show, we see what looks to be Plo Koon. And for some reason, the chat's in front of it. Looking out into the forest. Now, this forest is going to be on Kofar. This is most likely going to happen in tonight's episode, as the Jedi have gone to get reinforcements. You can see Master Sol at the head of the group over there. You can see Yord right over there, and you see Jecki off to the side there too. And they have 5 Jedi as reinforcements. If I can push it back over here. You got 1 lady over there, 2, 3, 4, 5. All humans, at least from the looks of the backs of their heads, except for this guy right here, a Keldor. Now, this is not just the only exhibit, because there is an Exhibit B, but Exhibit A. Now let's get to Exhibit B. This trailer, which was a Creating of the Acolyte show trailer that was released over 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago, we get to see this. Hang on. Here we go. Oh, it's muted.
I'm so excited for your fans to see the show.
There it is. I was like, did we already miss it? Look familiar? Exhibit B. We got a Plo Koon looking mother bleeper in the background of this scene in the forest. Same planet, same place. We've talked about this at length before, but I think this is tonight. I think we're seeing Plo Koon, or what looks to be his doppelganger, in tonight's episode. What do we think, chat? Is this him? Is this who? Is this how? Is this him? Is this why? Is this Plo Koon? Is this Plo Koon? I know. You're going to say, Mike, Leslie Headland had the interview where she said that they're not going to be using any legacy characters. She's a freaking liar. She's not going to come out and tell us that because that would ruin the surprise. If she was like, oh, yeah, oh, you want legacy characters? Guess what? Plo Koon's in episode 4. Yoda's probably in episode 8. Like, no, that would ruin the show. Ruin the show. I think it's Plo Koon. I think it's Plo Koon, and I want to know what you guys think. So we're going to pull this up. We're going to pull it up. We're ending the last poll. I don't care. By the way, 81% of you, really? 80% of you guys, the math is not mathing, 80% of you guys think Kelnacca will die tonight. Tonight. All right, let's pull it up. Do you think Plo Koon will be in tonight's episode? I can't type today, guys. What the hell? There we go. Yes or no? Do you think Plo Koon will be in tonight's episode? What do we think? And Steven says, not every Black Jedi is Mace Windu. Now, that is true. That is true. So let's talk about this. He's saying how this right here looks like a Keldor Jedi, and the species of Plo Koon is called Keldor. Now, he's saying that not every Black Jedi is Mace Windu, and that is true, obviously. However, the big difference here is Keldors are rarely, and I mean rarely, seen in Star Wars, and we've only ever seen one be a Jedi. And honestly, if you want to confuse fans, then go ahead and make another Keldor Jedi, but this is the deal here. They're either going to have to immediately explain that this is not Plo Koon for some reason or another, or it is. For the same reason I just said before, the guy dies at 385 years old. He is alive. It's not he might be alive. He is alive during the events of the Acolyte. He's with the Jedi Order during the events of the Acolyte show. And we just so happen to see what looks to be an exact replica of him. What's up, Trent? In the forest? Coincidence? I think not. So I ask you guys, where are we at? By the way, this poll right now is already 70-30. You guys thinking Plo Koon will be in tonight's episode. Do you know how crazy that is? Do you know how crazy that is? Plo Koon. That's awesome. That is so cool. But it does one big thing. It does confirm one huge bit of things. If this fight happens in the forest between the 8 Jedi and Darth Zipperface, which we know happens, we've seen it in all the trailers, 8 Jedi versus the Sith Lord. We know that. This means the Jedi don't die. At least not all of them. The Jedi don't die. How is that possible? If a Sith comes into contact with the Jedi, how do they not know that the Sith have been around for at least 100 years by the time of the Phantom Menace? Because Ki-Adi-Mundi, as everybody likes to bring up in the Phantom Menace, said that the Sith have been around for a millennia. A millennia. That's 1,000 years. Not 100, 1,000 years. So what's going on? What's the deal with this? What's the deal with Plo Koon being in the forest, surviving against the Sith Lord? What do we think? Then Yoda gives him a look. That's true. Yoda does give Mace Windu a look after Ki-Adi-Mundi says that. Yoda could have known and had been lying to the rest of the Jedi. But that makes the Jedi a lot worse. And we've talked about this before, how the Jedi really aren't, like, growing up is realizing that the Jedi aren't who you think they are. Yes, they're trying to be the heroes, but they become warriors in a war. I think the Ahsoka show actually explains this perfectly. Having the flashbacks to the Clone Wars show how young Ahsoka was during that, being literally trained to become a warrior by the Jedi Order. That's what it became. They were generals in a war, not the keepers of the peace. They were literally in the front lines of a war. The Jedi are not who you believe them to be. They're not really the heroes that everybody's made them out to be. And this might be the start of that. Them hiding information from each other that the Sith have returned. Maybe it's because they think it's for the greater good, but it's still lying. The Jedi are deceiving as well. They are deceiving, for sure. Yes. That was such an amazing and effective flashback. Oh, yeah. I mean, Ahsoka is so freaking good. So good. Jeez, wrong pipe. But yeah, Plo Koon changes everything. If that truly is him, with which almost 70% of you do believe this could be him in the forest. I mean, let's be honest, guys. Who else is it? Plo Koon? His twin brother? Like, who is it if it's not Plo Koon? And Plo Koon changes everything. Everything. Changes everything we thought we knew about the Jedi Order, pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much. Kramer says, I do hope that we get other flashbacks, but I'm okay with waiting until they really build it up to keep revealing things we need to know ASAP. Yeah, we need current day stuff. The flashbacks were great last week. It explained a lot about the witches. It explained a lot about Osha and May. But we need current day stuff. We need to know what's going on with Kelnacca. Will he die? We need to know how the Jedi are going to go about this. Because Vanestra Rho told Sol to come back to Coruscant. That might be the reason that Kelnacca dies. Sol might have been able to get there in time to go save him, but now that's not the case because they needed to go over it with the Jedi Council. That does not sound good. No. Mr. B. Barian, what's up, says, Chimere is the apprentice. I have a feeling that the Zabrak is the true Sith. Mother Coral. I've heard this theory a lot. I get it. Mother Coral was kind of she was kind of a bitch. She was kind of annoying in the last episode, but but I don't think she survived that. I think all the witches in that coven died. I don't think Mother Anisea, I don't think Mother Coral, I don't think any of those witches are going to be revealed to be the Sith Lord. I just don't think so. I think the witches served their purpose. They served their purpose to the story, and I don't think that they're going to be involved anymore. Why would they be wielding the dark side of the Force and a red lightsaber? Especially after all that Mother Anisea said about how the witches view the Force. That would be almost contradictory to pretty much everything that was said in Episode 3. Everything about the witches. How they view the Force, how they don't like to wield the Force, how they call it the thread, and all this other stuff. It would be like the opposite if they became a Sith Lord after they died. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. No. No. Justin Town says, I don't want to spoil it for everyone else. Well, then don't. The Wizard Cat says, hello there. Sorry for being a little bit lost. I just really missed the Bad Batch. Oh, well, that's okay. That's okay. I literally call the Acolyte the Bad Batch all the time because we missed the Bad Batch so much. Preston Kramer says, also, if you look on Google and see those screenshots that had the episode numbers on them, the official ones are the ones screenshot of Mother Anisea in the doorway. It says episode 7? I don't even know what that means, but okay. John Groom says, maybe they witness a Sith presence and had their heads messed with, and now the Sith want them dead in case they remember. Maybe. Spitballing here. Yeah. I don't know. Here's my prediction. I think Darth Zipperface, our fan favorite, weird-looking, masked-looking Sith Lord, he's going to die. Probably very soon. And that's going to sort of put us down in this whole tailspin of who's really the villain here. What's really going on here? Because if the masked Sith Lord that we're all led to believe is this villain of the show dies, I think his head could be getting chopped off in this forest scene. 8 Jedi versus 1 Sith. It really doesn't matter how strong this Sith is unless he's like, 8 Jedi, fully trained Jedi Masters versus a Sith. I think if I were a betting man, I'd put my money on the 8 Jedi. I would. So I think the 8 Jedi might actually win, and our Sith Lord character will die. He was just the apprentice, and that will leave a big vacancy in the apprentice realm for whomever the master may be, whether it's Plagueis or Tenebrous or somebody else. But there'll be a big opening, and maybe that's what May takes or Chimere takes or whomever. But I don't think Darth Zipperface is going to be lasting very long. Yeah. Soul is tenebrous. It's ironic. It's like a barber named Harry. What? Soul is tenebrous. It's ironic. It's like a barber named Harry. I get the barber named Harry because Harry cuts hair, but I don't get soul being tenebrous at all. Plus, tenebrous is a bith, and I don't think soul looks like a bith, if you ask me. Did any of us need a visual reference? For what? Oh, Plo Koon. Funny. Hilarious. Star Wars Politics says, people are saying in the Discord that most of the Jedi will die by the Sith Force push, but I don't think it's him. Interesting. Now, there's a lot, like in the prequels, when the Jedi go to confront Palpatine in his chambers, and we see 4 Jedi Masters. 4, right? Windu, Fisto. Yeah, 4. And 3 of them die almost immediately. Like immediately. And Mace Windu, of course, puts up a fight. A lot of fans don't really like that. They're like, these 3 trained Jedi Masters last 0.02 seconds against Palpatine. We might be seeing a very similar thing play out here. We're getting introduced to 4 or 5 new Jedi in this upcoming episode that are the reinforcements for Yord and Sol and Jeki going into this forest. And it's possible that a lot of them are just cannon fodder, just to die to this Sith Lord. Very similar to a lot of Jedi in the prequel trilogy that just come in and die immediately. Coleman Traber rings the biggest bell. But it's likely that a lot of these are just cannon fodder Jedi that are just going to die to this Sith Lord in the forest. Your main heroes of Sol, Yord, maybe Plo Koon, if that's really him, and Jeki are probably going to survive. And what's really interesting is in the latest trailers for this show, we've seen one-on-ones between Sol and Darth Zipperface and Jeki and Darth Zipperface. And why would they be going one-on-one when it's 8-on-1? And they could easily just take him out like it's nothing. It's possible that maybe he knocks them all out by pushing them around or whatever, and they get split up. I really don't know. But at some point, we're going to see a one-on-one between Jeki and Darth Zipperface, where Jeki's actually using Kelnacca's lightsaber too, which leads us to believe that Kelnacca's dead. And we're going to see Sol in a one-on-one versus Darth Zipperface, which I believe is in this trailer. Yeah. This trailer. So let's watch this trailer all the way through for a second, because there's a few scenes in here that I think we could be seeing tonight. Let's watch this.
Star Wars.
This was from a few days ago, actually. It's crazy, because we were getting trailer after trailer after trailer, and this week they've been awfully quiet. No trailers. None. Which is kind of concerning. Not concerning in the way that they've run out of trailers to make, but it's more concerning that there might be something huge coming this week that they can't even talk about or can't even make a trailer about because it'll get us way too hyped up, or it might reveal too much.
Returns, and it's certified fresh. Are you ready?
I sense this is only a small part of a larger plan.
Star Wars, the Acolyte.
Okay, so there's a lot in this trailer that we haven't seen yet and might be tonight. So let's talk about it. It's almost the entire back half of this trailer. So I talked about this in my video yesterday, but clearly this is a flashback to Brendock. We can see the witch's fortress in the background. Kelnacca's got all blacked out eyes here. He's completely controlled by the witches here. That's why he's fighting against Sol and Torben. Simple, easy, explained by episode 3 when the witch's Mother Anisea takes over Torben's body and makes him stop breathing. They're going to take over Kelnacca's body to fight against the other Jedi. So this flashback is going to happen at some point. Probably not tonight, but at some point over the next couple weeks. Then we see this, and this almost looks like Osha instead of May, because May has the longer hair coming down. Osha does not, so unless May got a haircut, this might be Osha. And she's picking up the Sith's lightsaber, the red lightsaber, and she looks to be on that Octu looking planet that we saw. Wait, what the hell? I just got a Amber Alert thing on my phone. she looks to be on that Octu looking planet that we saw at the end of episode 1. Very strange. Very, very strange. Is Osha going to turn bad? I really don't know. It's going to be weird. But she's looking at clothes, too, on the ground. Maybe Darth Zipperface is taking a bath? I don't know. I really don't know. Then we get all 8 of our Jedi here. You just count lightsabers. 3 green, 3 yellow, 2 blue. That's 8. So we got 8 Jedi here. Can't really tell if any of them are Plo Koon at this angle or anything. But actually, I believe if you go back a frame, I think Plo Koon's at the front of the ship here. Maybe right there. You can talk to that. They hide him very well. That's the thing. That's what really makes me believe it's Plo Koon, is that they're hiding him so well. Yeah. But this is all 8 Jedi being forced back by this one Sith Lord. That's wild that he's that powerful. And then we get Soul versus Darth Zipperface. Now, we talked about this last week a little bit, but there was rumor that there's going to be a 20 to 25 minute long fight sequence, lightsaber fight sequence in this show that is supposed to rival like the Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul, which when you say that, you really got to live up to the expectations, and that's very high praise. So maybe this sequence in the forest is that lightsaber duel that could be 20 minutes long. Who knows? Or maybe it's later on in the series, maybe towards the end. But I think this lightsaber sequence in the forest is going to be a crazy one. Not only because it's 8 Jedi versus a Sith Lord, but we see one-on-ones happening. And watch this Sith. You get a very brief look at it, but watch him move around. He's very agile, which we're not very used to when it comes to Star Wars, because you got Darth Vader, you got Palpatine. Palpatine's a bajillion years old and he can barely move. Darth Vader's a robot. So you're not really used to those fast-moving Sith unless you look back at the prequel trilogy with Darth Maul. Even Count Dooku's pretty slow too because he's a lot older. But look at how swiftly this guy moves.
Star Wars.
And again, it's only a brief second, but I got a feeling that these lightsaber duels in the forest are going to be quite good.
Star Wars.
Again, it's only 1 freaking second, which is annoying. But at the beginning of this, we see the light whip, or the laser whip, whatever you want to call it, from Vanestra Row.
Fried fresh.
And my question to you is, when do you think we're going to see this? She's on some sort of forest planet, maybe the same forest planet as we see at the end here versus the Sith Lord. Maybe not. But she's not really even involved in any of this. I mean, she was in the first episode sending Soul off on the mission, but she's not really involved in any of the fights in any of the trailers. She's not one of the 8 Jedi in the forest. Where is she and why? What is she doing here? We also got another Jedi right next to her, maybe her apprentice. She's got, looks like there's a Padawan braid maybe on the back. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. What do we think? Some people are saying, is Vanestra is the big bad? I don't think so. Vanestra being the villain? That's weird. I think Vanestra will come to rescue and die in the end. Ooh, Vanestra Row dying. Vanestra Row dying is a very high possibility. She's been alive ever since the High Republic books, which were hundreds of years before this, or 100-ish years before this. So it's possible she could die. True. True. Forrest, where's Kelnacca? Again, that's what leads me to believe that Kelnacca's dead. This is the same forest where his swamp is, where Shrek's swamp is, or Kelnacca's swamp is. Where is he? I think he's dead. Do you think Zipperface is a woman? I really don't know. I really don't. Vanestra Row's 132? Okay, interesting. I could see her dying because she's not in the prequels, obviously. I could definitely see her dying. Wait, isn't this right outside his house? It looks like it. It looks like it's right outside his house. So this leads me to believe that Kelnacca is definitely dead. He's not in this fight. How nice would it be to have a Wookiee helping you out against Darth Zipperface? He's definitely dead. How old is Kelnacca? I have no idea. No clue. I don't know if they even tell us or anything. I don't know. But I think a lot of those scenes, from the fight in the forest to Kelnacca possibly dying, to maybe even seeing that scene where May or Osha, whomever it is picking up a red lightsaber on what looks to be Octu. All that could happen tonight, in tonight's episode. Now, from what the leaked run times of the first 4 episodes have been, this is going to be the shortest episode, about 33 minutes, I believe it was. So this might be the shortest episode so far in the series, because the first one was about 44, and then 35, and then 44 again, and we're going down to 33. So we're kind of jumping back and forth. But I remind you, yes, run times are a big deal. We want to spend more time with these characters. We want to spend more time in Star Wars in general. I remind you, a lot of the shortest episodes, because they know that fans are going to complain about the run times, are some of the best Star Wars we've ever gotten. And some of the best episodes in The Mandalorian, in Ahsoka, in all of it, tends to be the shorter episodes, because they know with a shorter runtime, that's when they throw in all the good stuff. And they're like, okay, it's 32 minutes. We're going to have to fill it with some straight banger stuff so that people aren't mad about the runtime. People will be mad regardless. But I think we could be filling this episode with a lot of good stuff. Yeah, for sure. All right, let me catch up with some chat here. I'm also very sure that Finestra turns up to Kofar at some point with her laser whip scene. It does look like Kofar. It does, because of the forest. But it could be another forest planet.
Fresh.
I don't know. It's definitely daytime, so it would probably be the next day. But she's also taking out her lightsaber to fight somebody or to do something. I mean, this guy's just staring at a tree over here. Like, what's going on with this dude? He's staring at the tree. Like, if Vanessa Rowe's really about to go fight somebody and this guy's just staring at a tree, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But this could be Kofar. It could be. And maybe she's showing up the next day a little bit late to the battle. Definitely could happen. For sure. It's an older sister of Plo Koon named Plo Koon. Okay. Okay. Plo Koon would never. Interesting. It would be cool to see Yaddle too. Yeah, Yaddle. So there's a few characters from the prequel trilogy that could be in this Acolyte show. I think Yoda's probably the most likely because he is the Grand Master of the Jedi at the time, or he's about to be. So he's obviously still in the Jedi Council. So he would be very good to see. Then there's characters like a Yaddle or a Uriel Poof or a Plo Koon who aren't as important as like a Yoda character that could show up. And I mean could because could. Yeah. Oh, Martha with a very generous $5 holla. God damn, Martha says, I just had to stop and think, why do you assume the Sith is a guy? It could be May, in my opinion. Yeah, no. Obviously, I've been assuming, or just calling him a guy the entire time. Just purely, I guess, based off of his creepy voice in the first episode. It sounds more masculine to me. Obviously, it's all altered by his mask, so it could be a female. I don't know. You're absolutely right. It could be anybody. But it could be May? I don't think so. Because May's working for him. And we actually see them both in the same scene at the end of episode 1. So that can't be possible. It can't be May. But it could be a female character. I still don't think it's Mother Anisea or Mother Coral, or any of the witches for that matter. But it still could be a female character nonetheless. Yeah. I appreciate you, Martha. I appreciate it. Yeah. Abby says, yes, and that short you made about Plo Koon being in the Acolyte got me definitely thinking that's him. Yeah, exactly. Tactic Northeast says, who else could it even be? I think you're on the you're right, Mike, you legend. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, who else could it be? Why would they introduce a new Keldor Jedi when you literally have Plo Koon at the tips of your fingers? Come on. Brady says, the Keldor Jedi would still have to be alive during Revenge of the Sith if it isn't Plo Koon. So it probably is Plo Koon. Yes and no, Brady. I mean, if it technically is a different Keldor, then they could technically die in this forest. That's a possibility. But I just don't see why they would do that. That's my thing. Yeah. Also, his master was Tyvoka, who was a Wookiee. So it could make complete sense that he joins the mission to Kofar, as he likely speaks/understands Shrill Wook. Easy for me to say. Yeah, that's actually a great point. Plo Koon might be one of the only Jedi in the Order who understands Wookiee. That's big, because his master was a Wookiee Jedi. That's actually genius right there. That's wild. That's a great point. He could be there to translate when they go find Kelnacca. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Avalon says, it always assumes me of all your reactors. Oh, amuses me. Sorry, Jesus. Of all your reactors who make predictions are pretty much 90% always wrong. I think I understand. Are you saying my predictions are always about 90% wrong? 90% is pretty high, man. Come on. I think I'm a little bit better than 90%. Who's translating? Plo Koon. Plo Koon could be translating. Then Yoda gives him a look. Yeah. What do you guys think about Yoda being in this show? Do you guys think Yoda will be in this show at all? Like, in any sort of way? Pam, what's up? Skywalker Academy, how we doing?
Hello there.
Is Yoda going to make a cameo appearance or an appearance in this show? Yes or no? What do we think? No? I definitely hope he is. Yeah, me too. Yes, he's at least mentioned. I could see him being mentioned. No Yoda. Can Yoda also speak to the Wookiees? I think Yoda can speak Wookiee at some point. I mean, he has a good relation with the Wookiees, so I'm guessing he can speak the language. Did Yoda have a baby with a senator? What? What? No for Yoda. Darth Patty, what's up? Yoda will steal the show. He would steal the show. Obviously, his appearance would make headlines for sure, but that's kind of what you want to do, especially coming in the back half of the season, maybe even in the last episode. I could see it. Why not? You're talking about the guy. Yes, in a flashback. I don't think it even has to be flashback. He could be in the show itself. You're going back to Coruscant in this episode, so you might even see him tonight. But you're probably going to be going back to to Coruscant multiple times throughout the rest of the series, but in the back half of the season. So it's very likely that we could be seeing our green little friend at some point in this show. Imagine they gave us like Yaddle instead of Yoda. They were just like, here, have a different Yoda's species. Be awesome. Nico says, sorry, I'm at work right now, and all I heard was Yoda having a baby with a senator, LOL. Yeah, what's that about? What's that about? I thought Yoda had a kid with Yaddle. What's that about? Officer Murdoch says, even Yoda did not sense that Palpatine was Darth Sidious. Yeah, Yoda's sitting across from Palpatine multiple times in the prequel trilogy. He has conversations with him all the time in the Clone Wars, and he doesn't even realize that he is a Sith Lord, which is crazy. John Groom says, the only thing that makes me think that it's not going to be Plo Koon is that given his age, he's probably on the council by now, and they wouldn't have him be in that group. He would be in charge, or at least at the front. Interesting. Well, maybe Plo Koon was like a late bloomer and he didn't get put on the council until later on in his life. When you have different species that exist for so many years, like Yoda's going to live for 900 years. He starts training Jedi, as he said, at 100. We don't know specifically, I don't think, in canon when he joins the Jedi Council, but it's not when he's like 100. So at some point in that 900 years, he becomes a member of the council. Saying all this to say, Plo Koon doesn't necessarily have to become a Jedi Council member at a young age. He could have been put on the council at the age of 300 or 350, and maybe he's only been on the Jedi Council for the last 30 years. There's no specific date as to when he will be put on it. Yeah. Oh no, just scroll down to the bottom. Are you kidding me? No. Hang on, scrolling back up. Where was I? Oh, all right, here we go. Maybe the Jedi made Darth Zipperface an assassin. They don't want him to admit that the Sith are under them. So you're just going to say that they're just going to cover it up, is what you're saying. The Jedi are just going to cover up the fact that they went face to face with the Sith Lord in the forest. I don't think so. I've been thinking that Vanestra Rho is the secret Sith. I don't know. That sounds a little too crazy to me. She's one of the higher-ups currently. She's on the Jedi Council. That just sounds too crazy, honestly. I don't think she leaves Coruscant much. And obviously, Palpatine didn't leave Coruscant much, but we see this Sith Lord at the end of Episode 1 on a different planet. Yeah. Wait, so Kelnacca is off on his own in exile? Why didn't the Jedi go look for him? Why did they let him run? Yeah, so that kind of brings us to the flashbacks. Kelnacca gets taken over by the Night Sisters, by the witches on Brendock 16 years ago. He gets taken over by the witches. That's what we see in this trailer right here. Right here. So he's fighting against the Jedi. And this leads us to believe that Kelnacca is going to go into exile by himself and leave the Jedi Order because of what he did. He's going to feel that he can't control his emotions, he can't control himself, so he's going to leave the Jedi Order, go into hiding for the rest of his life. It's very similar to what happened with Torben. Torben is so apologetic for what happened this night, 16 years ago, on Brendock, that he meditates, doesn't speak to anybody for 10 years, and then when he wakes up, he drinks poison and dies. So these two right here, specifically, Torben and Kelnacca, really take it pretty hard. Another Amber Alert? What is going on? There's like a really big heat wave going on where I am right now. It's supposed to be like 100 plus tomorrow and the next day. I don't know if that's what it's about, but that was the second Amber Alert I got. So these two, in particular, are going to be extremely important in the flashback sequences because whatever happens between them, they both sort of go into exile themselves. One kind of stays with the Order and goes into meditation, and the other one goes into hiding in the middle of nowhere and stops being a Jedi. That's why when we see Kelnacca at the end of Episode 1, or Episode 2, I should say, at the end of Episode 2, he's not wearing his Jedi robes. He doesn't even have his lightsaber on him, and he looks more like Chewbacca than a Jedi. He's wearing a satchel, and he's not wearing any clothes. He's not wearing any robes, I should say. So he looks more like a non-Wookiee Jedi than a Wookiee Jedi. What if Taserface from the MCU was Darth Sidious? I'm going to say no. I think it's the mother who wanted to give the kids drugs. What? Give the kids drugs? What are you talking about? Who's giving kids drugs? John Groom says, I don't think we will see the actual Sith Lord yet. Okay, that brings up another question. We know that Darth Zipperface is probably the apprentice of a Sith Lord. That Sith Lord is probably Tenebrous or Plagueis. I personally think it's most likely going to be Plagueis, but some people still think it could be Tenebrous. Do you guys think, here's my question to you, do you think that Darth Tenebrous or Plagueis, whoever the Sith Lord is at the current time, do you think they will be seen by the end of this show? So I just asked about Yoda. Will Yoda be in this show? Now I want to know if you think we will see, with our own two eyes, the Sith Lord who's in charge right now in the current time period of the Star Wars galaxy. Yes or no? What do we think? Will we see the current Sith Lord? The Jedi don't have to see him. The Jedi don't have to see them. No, Season 2? Interesting. Season 2 is not confirmed yet, though. There might not be a second season. I think this season is supposed to be able to stand on its own, and then however the fans sort of react to it, then they can make a second season. Kind of similar to like Ahsoka. Ahsoka could have just ended, and we could have gone back to The Mandalorian and kind of gotten their story explained in something else. But then we got a second season because Ahsoka season 1 was so damn good. You know? Maybe at the end, hopefully. It's possible that the last scene of the entire show could be us seeing Plagueis' face, which would be amazing. Would be so damn cool. Awesome. It would be amazing. But I don't know. Sky High says, I thought they denied Leslie using Yoda. Yeah, Leslie Headland denies using Yoda, but if she did use Yoda, you think she'd tell us? If Yoda was in the show, you think she'd be like, yeah, Yoda's in the show? It would ruin it. So obviously she's going to lie about that. Yeah. They have to leave some sugar to come back for a second season. Yeah, there'll be some doors that are open and still some unanswered questions. But I think a lot of it is going to be, it's going to come to a close at the end of the first season. I think this whole mystery of May and Osha will come to an end. Yeah. The Acolyte show still probably could continue in this time period and with these characters, but I think like the actual plot of this first season will come to an end. Yeah. That would be awesome. Do we know how old Plagueis would be in the non-canon or is in the non-canon novel? Well, we know for a fact that Mun, his species, the Mun in Star Wars can live up to 200 years old. You add in the fact of a Sith Lord using the dark side, they can live a lot longer than that. So Palpatine, who's a human who lives about 80 years, as humans do, he lives well over 100 because of the dark side of the Force. I think we could see something similar with Plagueis, where he can live upwards of 200. Now, it's a little bit different because Plagueis gets murdered by Palpatine, and we don't technically know how old he is when he gets murdered by Palpatine. So he could be anywhere from 50 to 200 plus years old. So we really don't know how they're going to go about it, but either way, you could have Plagueis or Tenebris be the master at this time. Kay, what's up? More background on Chimere. We definitely need more background on Chimere. I think he's going to have a big upside where he's going to be a very interesting character, but we'll see. We shall see. The Lowdown Show says, I think the Sith Lord was there and Mother Coral helped the Sith Lord. The Sith killed her. And the Sith killed her? Interesting. I've heard this theory a lot. Do you guys think that Darth Zipperface or the Sith or whoever were at the witch's fortress during this Brendock situation 16 years ago? I've heard this theory quite a bit. Why I don't like it, honestly, is because there's 4 Jedi here. And even in episode 3, it's explained that all these witches could go kill these 4 Jedi pretty easily. They outnumber them quite a bit. Quite a bit. So they could kill these 4 Jedi like it's nothing. But the reason they don't is because they don't usually wield the Force like that. They don't want to. And if they kill 4 Jedi, the Republic will come and find them and kill them. Simple as that. However, we know that all the witches die. We don't know how, but we know they all die. We see them all dead on the ground at the end of episode 3. We know that for a fact. We just don't know how they die. We know that Kelnacca is fighting against Torben and Sol in this trailer, as we can see here. But again, he's possessed by the witch's magic. How are they going to kill all those witches with just the 4 of them? There's a big missing piece to this puzzle. I don't know what it is. I really have no clue. But there's something missing. Something big missing from that night on Brendock. And I think we might have to wait a few weeks to find out what that truly is, which is kind of a bummer, but we'll see. We shall see. Fearless says, maybe what went down with the witches is the reason that the Sith Lord came into play. I'm pretty convinced of that. But why isn't the Sith Lord at the end of episode 3 then? Why, when we see May, who survived that fall somehow, why is she just looking at the tree? And why is the Sith Lord not there and revealed to us immediately? I actually don't think that May becomes a Sith until, or at least starts to train to become a Sith until later. That's why she's hunting down the Jedi now. It took her 16 years to start hunting down the Jedi as an acolyte of the Sith. So I don't think she sort of found the Sith or found Darth Zipperface until in like maybe the last couple of years. I think there was maybe a few off years for May where she was just trying to survive, and then she came across our good pal Darth Zipperface. Yeah. I guess Tenebris means darkness, so they're thinking that soul equals sun, and it's the exact opposite. Oh, I get you. That would be interesting, for sure. I don't like the soul theory. It makes no sense. Soul is like the perfect Jedi right now. He's the Qui-Gon of this show. How is he going to be the Sith Lord? And then you could say, oh, maybe he has a twin, but that's just like, how many twins is there going to be in this freaking show? Is this a show about twins or Star Wars? You know? A lot of theories are saying that Osha and May are the same person. Again, another theory that I don't like. They're on the screen at the same time together. That's my biggest thing. Episode 2, they're on the screen at the same time. They go face to face with each other. And episode 3 sort of confirms that May survived the events of that thing. Shadow, what's up? Tony says, Palpatine used the Force scare your pants off? What? You lost me there. These extra Jedi are like the red shirts in Star Trek. LOL. I'm going to be completely honest. I have no idea what that means. I've seen some Star Trek, and I don't even know what that means. I think Plagueis is the main Sith here. Tenebris is cool, but Plagueis would be more captivating of a villain, visually, if they get it right. Not only that, he'd be more recognizable. He has a name drop in Revenge of the Sith. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? He's just a more known character to normie Star Wars fans and hardcore Star Wars fans than even Tenebris is. And I feel like if a Bith Sith, Tenebris, comes out of nowhere, people will be like, who? Who is this guy? But if Plagueis comes out, we'll be like, oh shit, it's Darth Plagueis. So I think Plagueis is probably the better play here, if I'm being honest. Red shirts are always the one, or red shirts always die in Star Trek? Okay, cool. I mean, that's kind of that's what I thought you meant by that, but I don't know. We'll see. John Groom says, I think when the witches told the Jedi that the girl has no father, someone there informed the Sith, who then came and killed the witches. Again, I don't think so. I really don't. I think that the witches have this ability to, or found the ability, or somehow had the ability to create life. And that will eventually, like I said in my video, maybe somehow lead through some sort of telephone line to Anakin's creation. Maybe if they stick with the legends, Plagueis and Palpatine trying to create a dark side being and the Force rebels by creating Anakin. That could be a possibility. But I don't think the Sith was there. I don't think he was at all. Oh, wait, what the hell? Did we just break the record? We just broke the record for most people on the stream at the same time. 137? We did it! That's crazy. I appreciate all you guys. Smash a freaking like on the stream. And can I get 135 hello there's in the chat? Actually, no. Let's not spam the chat. That's crazy. We did it. We did it. Connor says, oh my god, if they did a live action Plagueis and do him like the Grand Inquisitor, I'm going to be pissed. Yeah, that would be a bummer. That would be a bummer. If they do a live action Darth Plagueis and he looks like the frickin' round-headed Grand Inquisitor from Kenobi, that would suck. That would suck big time. Maria says, I think Chimere killed Kelnacca and May got mad. Remember, he knew where Kelnacca was. Yes, Chimere is the one who knows where Kelnacca is. He knows that he's on Kofar. But I don't think May would get mad about that. She's there to murder him. Oh, you're saying that she would get mad because she's not the one who did it? Interesting. Maybe. Dark Knight, what's up? We got Batman in the chat. How long until the premiere? We got about 6 hours. 6 hours and 1 minute. Yeah. Yeah, if they do Plagueis, they need to go all out on the makeup, costume, etc. to get it looking top tier. Yeah, we got a Mun in, hang on. There's a Mun in the prequel trilogy. Yeah, I believe it's Attack of the Clones, but maybe it's Revenge. I'm not too sure. Right here. We have a Mun in Star Wars canon already, and he looks great. I mean, obviously this was over 20 years ago, so you can make him look even better, but we already have the template here. So just take this, create an awesome, cool-looking Sith Lord out of it to make a cool Darth Plagueis. You don't need to do what you did with the Inquisitor. The reason they said they did it with the Grand Inquisitor is because of him having to move around and do all these fight scenes and all that other stuff. They just didn't. They had the perfect outline. I'll show you what I mean. Uta Powen, Star Wars. They had this guy from Revenge of the Sith, or they had multiple of them from Revenge of the Sith. The perfect template for a Grand Inquisitor. And somehow we got a round-headed, whoa, look at these guys behind. How have I never noticed that? You see those red dudes behind him? What the heck? Looks like Royal Guards or something. What the heck's going on there? That's pretty sick. I don't know. That's just a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time, I guess. Uta Powens. Nice. Oh, David with the very generous $5 holla says Sol and Osha are in a ship on Karlak, and May and Zipperface meet in a rocky coast, and May attacks Torben on Olega. So Osha can't be May, and Sol can't be the Sith. Agreed. They can't all be at the same time, at the same place at the same time, when they're not in the same place at the same time. I feel like that theory has kind of just been thrown out completely. Absolutely thrown out. And I agree with you, David. And guess what, David? We did it. If you know, you know, David. We did it. What a great night last night was, I must say. It was awesome. It was so great. I think Osha and May are the same person. I just don't think so. They weren't in the same place at the same time. Connor says, all I'm saying is Vanestra is feeling shady AF. She's feeling a little bit shady, but that's because she's all politics. She's kind of the Jedi Order of the prequel trilogy already. And we're still 100 years out from that, you know? Yeah, you know it, David. You know it. The Dark Knight says, I'm from Ukraine. How long until the premiere of the fourth episode? We got 6 hours. So for me, it's like 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have no idea what that is in Ukraine. Could not tell you. But 6 hours from right now. Just do the math. What's up, Andrew? I appreciate that. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, indeed. I hope the episode's at least 45 minutes. Well, from what we've heard, it's probably going to be about 32 minutes. Without credits. So probably like 33, 34, 35-ish minutes. It's going to be the shortest episode so far, I believe. But that doesn't make it a bad thing, you know? Doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing. I hope we see the woods scene tonight. I think we're definitely going to Kofar tonight. It's more of a question of will we get to the point where we see the fight in the forest? And let me ask you guys, do you think we're seeing this tonight? This fight in the forest. Are we seeing this tonight? I think it's more likely that we're going to see Kelnacca's death on Kofar. We're going to see the Jedi go back to Coruscant and regroup, get some reinforcements. Are we going to have enough time to see this fight? Or are they going to wait until episode 5 to give us this? Probably next episode? Interesting. No, not yet. No. Probably next episode. Hell no. No spoilers. What do you mean no spoilers? Yeah, no spoilers in the chat if you guys have spoilers. I don't know how you would, but I think episode 5 will be a flashback. Okay. Forest fight in episode 5. Yeah. I think they probably will push this to episode 5. Maybe they'll tease it out somehow. Like maybe they show Darth Zipperface arriving on Kofar to fight, and then they don't show us the fight itself. That would be a bummer. I think, without a doubt, there's going to be an entire, just massive cliffhanger at the end of this episode. I think tonight after episode 4, we're going to be extremely disappointed because there's going to be a huge cliffhanger that people are going to be like, we have to wait a whole nother 7 days. And I think it might be something to do with that, where we're going to get this. We're about to get the fight scene in the forest, and then they might cut it short. Yeah. I hope to God that tonight they will continue the main storyline. Well, I mean, last week, although it was flashbacks, it did sort of continue the main storyline. It gave us a ton of information about what's going on with these characters, which we needed. But yeah, I agree with you. I think we need to get back on track here and get some story going. Star Wars Santa, what's up? What is up? I really hope we get to see the light whip in action tonight. Again, I don't think that's till later. Probably episode 5 or 6, if I were to guess. But we'll see. Jay says, I think we won't see her until the back half of the season. Yeah, I agree. I agree. What are you? That's from Batman Begins. Is it? Is it? Samuel says, guys, this series is going very badly. Doesn't Disney see this disaster that these crazy people created? No, because this show isn't going very badly. No, absolutely not. This show has done it great so far. Not good, great so far. I'm very much looking forward to episode 4, and I can't wait for the back half of the season either. Again, we got a long way to go till I call this this show anywhere close to as good as Mando or Ahsoka or anything. But I have hope. I have hope for sure. And so far, so good. Kramer says, check this out. I think there's another Brendock flashback that we all missed. Towards the beginning of trailer number 2, it looks like the Wookiee is climbing. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's look at that. I don't think it's the Wookiee, but I do know what you're talking about. Okay, let's go look at this. So the second trailer ever released for the Acolyte show. Let's take a gander over at this. I know exactly what you're talking about. So this sort of like the official trailer. The other one was a teaser trailer. Again, some trailer magic. We've seen this scene already. We've seen this scene already. This is when May kills Master Indara. That's Master Indara. This is the cantina that they were in. Actually, it's a noodle shop. This was the noodle shop that they were in. And it's nighttime. We know for a fact that this happened in the daytime. Clearly, they're trying to subvert our expectations with some of the scenes in these trailers.
Jedi was murdered.
The Jedi justify their galactic dominance in the name of peace.
This is what he's talking about. I don't think that is a Wookiee. I think it's just a Jedi in a robe. But maybe you're right. But this is Brendock. This is not the forest on Kofar. This is Brendock, which is interesting. I know Brendock and Kofar kind of look very similar, but this is a Jedi scaling the walls. I actually think that's probably Master Soul, but he's scaling the walls of the fortress. Yeah, he's scaling the walls of the witch's fortress. So this is probably going to be in the flashbacks. We're probably going to get the perspective of Soul in the next flashbacks, if I were to guess, because we got Osha's perspective last time. Now we're probably going to get Soul's perspective the next time. Probably makes sense. But this is probably Soul coming in to try to spy on somebody. I don't really know, but it's cool to see him kind of scaling up the side of the wall like that.
But that piece is a
Let's watch through this because there's like almost all the scenes already in this we've seen already.
lie.
Jedi are being hunted.
This we have not seen. I'm just only going to pause on scenes we haven't seen yet. We got a dead body over there. We don't, or maybe a knocked out body. We don't know. It's hard to make out who that could be. But a lightsaber that's cut in half. That's pretty wild. This probably happens in the forest scene, if I were to guess. There's like ash falling from the sky, though, here. Maybe this is on Brendock. Like the fire on Brendock? Why is there ash falling from the sky? I don't know. This is interesting.
She was my student. I trained her. Let me be the one to bring her in.
Again, we've seen all this already.
I sense this is only a small part of a larger plan. Some sort of shift.
This we have not seen. We've seen this planet before, but this scene in particular, where her ship is over there, we have not seen that yet. So we know for a fact we're going back to this planet that looks like Octu at some point in the show. Yeah.
Sort of shift to tip the scales.
It's time.
This we still haven't seen. It's some sort of chase through space or something like that, through this asteroid/glass belt or whatever it is.
Face the past.
This is the Witch's Fortress, and there's 2 explosions going on here. Interesting. This, I think, is going to happen tonight. So we got our weird-looking creature here, which we'll get to in a second, this dude up here. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people. So I think it's going to be the 8 Jedi and Osha walking through here. Yeah. This is actually pretty interesting. This is Indara waking up or like realizing something. This is clearly after the fight on Brendock. Maybe she's trying to save Kelnacca because his brain was washed. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on here.
Destiny is not decided for you by an anonymous force. If you want to pull the thread and change everything, then pull it.
So this is Kelnacca's house, everybody. That's the swamp. That's where Kelnacca's living, inside of this broken down building or ship, whatever they called it. Is Kelnacca dead? It sure seems like it.
What are you?
But my question is, why is the Sith Lord meeting them on that planet? Why is he coming to Kofar? What's the purpose of that? Why would he reveal himself when they're trying to stay hidden in the shadows? Maybe May calls for backup because you can't kill Kelnacca? I don't know. I ask you guys. Why does Darth Zipperface show up on Kofar? And as you answer, can I get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? Bum-ba. Yeah. Why? Maybe he wouldn't have invited them for pizza if they hadn't gone postal? What are you talking about? Sam says, pointing out that I'm not a hater, but I think this series is at least divisive because most people agree that it is mediocre at best. I wouldn't say most people agree that. I actually think the majority of the fandom is enjoying this show so far. I think the sort of minority in the fandom right now is just yelling louder than everybody else. And it's not really helping that a lot of Star Wars creators are feeding the flames, so to speak. Yeah. Prepare your popcorn and nacho chips. Oh, popcorn for tonight's episode? I might have to do something like that. Abby says, I definitely think we're going to get... Wait, I definitely think that they're going to get there right after he is killed. Interesting. So you think the Jedi will just arrive right after he's killed? Right after Kelnacca's dead? Interesting. Interesting. Avalon says, Mike, do you think if they have released the whole series at once that people might have complained less? Yes. So you guys know my take on this. We talked about this last stream. I love that we have Star Wars week to week to week to week. As a content creator, it's fantastic. It gives me so much stuff to talk about. But just as a viewer of Star Wars and an enjoyer of Star Wars, I love the week-to-week stuff because it gives you time to go online and speculate, talk with the fandom, have fun Star Wars-y conversations in between episodes. However, I do absolutely agree with you. If this show was all released at the same time, there would be a whole lot less of complaints and a divide in the Star Wars fandom, because I think by the time this show is over, fans will be like, oh, okay, that show was pretty good, or that show was really good, or it wasn't that bad. They'll all kind of say something similar to that, however they feel about the show. Some people will like it obviously more than others, and some people will dislike it more than others. But I think by the end of the show, people will kind of be like, oh, okay, that wasn't too bad. So maybe if it all released at the same time, it wouldn't be this week to week to week thing where people are like, you know. But I love it being week to week. I would never change that. Then don't watch it. That's true too. I mean, if you don't like the show, then don't watch it. That's what I don't really get. Like people who dislike the show and watch it and really watch it like multiple times just to find tiny little details that are out of place and all that stuff, that just doesn't make sense to me at all. I don't get that in the slightest. Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely missing some flashbacks. We haven't seen Kelnacca go crazy. Yeah, can't wait. Probably until episode 5. Yeah, probably not tonight. I don't think flashbacks are going to be tonight. I mean, maybe we're wrong and the flashbacks are going to be again tonight, but I seriously doubt it. I think we're going to take a break from the flashbacks, go back to current day, and then maybe get some more flashbacks later on the line. Yeah. I think he's looking at something they've found, and they're surprised by something. Who? What? This is what happens when I'm behind in the chat. What about Mother Anisea's comment? I just meant that the photos have the numbers. She's standing in front of a doorway in episode 7. Yeah, maybe episode 7 is where the flashbacks are, but I feel like that's way too long to wait. And it's the penultimate episode, being the second to last episode. Yeah, I don't know. Fearless says, I think this is the scene where they fight the insect aliens. Yeah, there's those weird insect alien things in the forest too. That might become a problem, but I think Zipperface is probably the bigger issue there. Yeah. Voice modulator could be a woman. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that Darth Zipperface couldn't necessarily be a woman. I just feel like, I really don't know why, but I just feel like it's a guy. Not that like there's just anything to it. There really isn't. I just feel like I've been saying that he is Darth Zipperface. Just saying that he for so long that I'd be surprised if it was a female, honestly. I'd be surprised. Mandalorian Legion says, are you ready for the next wave of discourse? Honestly, yes. I'm hoping that this week's episode is better than the last. Last week's episode was my least favorite so far of the show, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it was a bad episode. Foot cramp, what the hell? I need some water. Hydration is key, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I'm ready for the next wave of discourse for sure. I think tonight's episode is going to end on a big cliffhanger, which people are going to be upset about. But I think the episode itself is going to be pretty good. David said, Filoni probably made them put in Plo Koon. Yeah, knowing Filoni, he probably was like, this show, Plo Koon's still alive, put him in. Put him in now. I could see it. I mean, now that Dave Filoni is chief creative officer, he's got literally all the reins that he wants to put whatever he wants in anything. He'd probably do that. I could see it. Evil Space Trinity? No, I definitely don't think Master Indara is the Sith Lord either. We see her die. Alan says, hey guys, hope you're doing well and staying safe. I am, Alan, and I hope you are as well. Yeah. Chris says, it's true. People will get angry and place judgments over everything. Yeah, it's kind of funny too. Like, even when you have something that's, I'm not saying the Acolyte is like impossible to find any faults in, but when you have something that's so great, people just like to crap on it. Actually, I was talking about this the other day. Taylor Swift. Anybody a Taylor Swift fan in the chat? I mean, I'll listen to Taylor Swift every once in a while, but I'm not like a huge Swiftie or anything. But you can't deny that this lady has done just absolutely insane things when it comes to the music industry. Going on this massive tour, having like this whole just decades long of just pure top of the leaderboards on everything. She's at the top of the charts on everything. You can't deny it. And yet she, over everybody else in the music industry gets the most amount of hate. The most amount of hate. Across the board. She gets so much more hate than anybody else. And the only reason why is because she's so popular and so good at what she does. So you really know if you're getting hate, then you're doing something right. Because people only hate on stuff if they think they can make a quick buck off of it from having a differing opinion and starting a war, starting a conversation, starting a disagreement, which obviously we know disagreements create a lot of money. That's for sure. Yeah, its popularity leads to hate almost, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, kind of. Jealousy leads to the dark side. Yeah, pretty much. It's like Star Wars in real life, pretty much. Yeah. Exactly. And Taylor Swift, I feel like, is the perfect example of that. She's at the top of the world, and everybody's just trying to strike her down. It's almost the same thing with Star Wars. Star Wars is the biggest science fiction franchise. It's not even close. And everybody just wants to take their swing and try to take it down. Yeah. People will always try to find something to complain about, especially when it's something that is popular. Master Soul has already established that May doesn't even know the identity of her master. That's true, yes. May doesn't know. That is established in episode 2. During their fight, he says couldn't even tell me if you knew. Or no, you couldn't even tell me if you wanted to because you don't even know. She's never seen him with the mask off, so it's possible that God Zipperface is somebody just random, and it's not even important at all. Not sci-fi. Yeah, you know what I mean, though. Star Wars kind of exists in its own realm. It's bigger than everything else. Yeah. Jason Drew says, Anakin Skywalker doesn't destroy the Death Star. Spice isn't used to make sweets for children, and the Jedi are not evil or oppressors. They're definitely oppressors. They're not evil, but they're probably evil from a certain point of view. Spice is not used to make sweet treats for children. Oh, the spice cakes in the last episode? That's funny. I think that was more of just a name for the treat, like a Chips Ahoy cookie or something like that. And Anakin didn't destroy the Death Star. That is true. That is very true. He did not. The Lowdown Show says, another good thing about the episode, it will be the last one before the next 4, and nobody has seen the next 4. That's true. So a lot of reviewers and critics saw the first 4 episodes of this series, and tonight is the 4th episode. So after this, nobody has seen what's coming. Nobody knows what happens in the next 4 episodes. So we're going in completely blind, and we don't know what to expect. We really don't. At all. Yeah. Indeed. Chris says, the negative comments on many other Star Wars YouTuber channels, and even those who host some Star Wars content on YouTube, are just way too much over the top negative about the show. I'm getting sick of it. Yeah, I get having or not liking the show. I get it. I totally get it. It's like not liking anything. It happens. Not everybody's going to like everything. That's just how it happens. So obviously I understand people not liking the show. But when you take that and literally just try to make money off of it, it's really sad when you look at it because people are just over the top, going extreme, like just insane hate on this show. When it's like, if you don't like it, then just don't watch it. Do you ever think of that? Hang on. Wait. Is this just the revelation of the year right now? 2024 is the year that we just came up with the greatest revelation in human history. If you don't like something, don't watch it.
This is where the fun begins.
Crazy. It's really wild to me because Ahsoka, to me, being a huge Rebels and Clone Wars fan, Ahsoka was like perfection. From start to finish, just perfection. Added new characters in, like Baylan Skoll, Shin Hati, whatever, and really brought in the live-action characters of Sabine, Ezra, Thrawn, Ahsoka, Hera, all of them into live action in a perfect way. They were the same exact characters, gave us this incredible story, and set up the heir to the Empire. Ahsoka, perfection. And the amount of hate that Ahsoka got was insane to me. Absolutely insane. So that show in particular, for me, gave me a great life lesson of not everybody's going to like everything. And that's perfectly fine. You're going to have differing opinions all the time. And that's okay. That's perfectly okay. Some people, I've just put up a poll, what's the best original trilogy movie on the community tab on the channel. And let's actually take a look at it. This is crazy. Let's take a look at this. This actually kind of blew my mind. As you guys know, my second favorite Star Wars movie is Empire. Behind, of course, Revenge of the Sith. But this, with over 26,000 votes, which original trilogy movie is your favorite? Empire is in the lead by quite a bit, 57%. Then Return of the Jedi with 33%. And then A New Hope with 10%. And a lot of the comment section was just fighting. It was just absolute fighting. Like, beyond belief fighting. About 3 incredible movies. Now, I put which movie's your favorite. I'm not saying that the other 2 are bad. I love Empire. It's my second favorite Star Wars movie. That doesn't make Return of the Jedi or A New Hope bad. Not in the slightest. But people in the comment section are fighting about how A New Hope is better than the other 2 and how Return of the Jedi is better than the other 2 or how Empire is better than the other. It's just fighting. Fighting just to fight. Why can we not just sit here and say all 3 of those movies are masterpieces? Absolute masterpieces. My favorite one's Empire, but I love the other 2 too. Why can't we just sit here and have a fun, civilized conversation about how much we love Star Wars? Why does it always have to go to fighting, hate, negativity? Why? It doesn't make sense at all. It really doesn't. About 3 movies that almost, obviously it's my opinion, but are almost incapable of being said to be bad. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why does everything have to be a fight in the Star Wars fandom? That's my thing. I don't get it. Even when you look back at some of the greatest things that we've gotten in recent past, like The Mandalorian Season 2, when The Mandalorian Season 2 was coming out, people were arguing about it, saying it wasn't good, saying all this other stuff. Now here we are, 3 years later, and Mando Season 2 is inarguably good. Great, even. And I feel like almost nobody's going to argue with me when I say that. But at the time, people were arguing all about it. Same thing is happening right now with Ahsoka. When Ahsoka was coming out, people were shitting all over it. Now, people love Ahsoka. They can't wait for Season 2. It's like, for some reason, people just have to hate on whatever's coming out. And I'm not saying that Acolyte's as good as Mando or Ahsoka. It's not. So far, it's definitely not. But there's something to learn there. There's something clear that there's something wrong going on with all sorts of things in the Star Wars fandom. Yeah. Though Wolf says, right, so would check out instead of Plo, what's his lifespan like? Right, so would check out. Well, Plo Koon dies at the age of 385 during Order 66, so he could definitely be in the Acolyte show, for sure. Do you like the taste of steak or spinach? What? What does that even mean? Yes. Right? I think it's possible Yoda's in it at the end when the news about what they uncovered gets back to Coruscant. But equally possible that he's not in the show at all. Interesting. I said this before, I can see Yoda in the very last scene of in the very last episode, where he says, "A secret, we must keep this." Yeah, I could definitely see Yoda doing something like that. Him and Vanestra Rose sitting there going, "We got to keep this a secret from everybody else." Yeah, I could definitely see that, and that's going to anger so many people. Which is sad. It's really sad, because I get it. People like to look at the Jedi as the heroes. They're the real good guy. Like, you look up to the Jedi. You want to be a Jedi. But when you realize that the Jedi in the prequel trilogy are not the Jedi that they're supposed to be, they're not the keepers of the peace, they're generals in a war. They're corrupted by politics. They're not the Jedi that they're supposed to be. And the Acolyte is just starting that. And for some reason, fans just don't want to see it that way. They want to see the Jedi as what they believe they were as a kid. They want to see them as these keepers of the peace, as these perfect beings of greatness, of the light, of the good guys. They want to be Jedi, but that's just not what they were in the prequel trilogy. And we got to get there somehow. And maybe keeping the secret from the Acolyte show might be the way to do so. Maybe. Yoda was with Bail Organa for a while. That's true, but Bail Organa is definitely not in this show. Bail is not born yet. I prefer Yaddle making an appearance. She needs more screen time. Yaddle's pretty great. I mean, Yaddle's obviously a background of background characters. Like, the definition of a background character, if you look it up on Google, it'll come up a picture of Master Yaddle. It won't, but it should. But, like, Tales of the Jedi is the perfect example of that. Tales of the Jedi did it so perfectly. Gave us more Yaddle. Bryce Dallas Howard's the voice of Yaddle now, which is awesome. But we get a sick fight scene between Yaddle and Count Dooku. It not only explains where Yaddle goes because she dies, but it also gives us more of a background character. The Clone Wars, Rebels, Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire is so good at just doing that, giving us background characters more screen time, more story. Look at Plo Koon. We were just talking about Plo Koon for a major portion of this stream. Plo Koon was a background character at best. He's on the council, but he's a background character. But in the Clone Wars, he becomes a main character. The first season of the Clone Wars I'm rewatching right now, he's a main character. In like two of the first three arcs of the show, he's one of the main characters. Indeed. Monet, what's up, Monet says, I think it's kind of weird that they didn't show any footage from the second half of the season. Well, that's not necessarily true, because yes, we think that the fight between these 8 Jedi in the Sith is going to happen tonight, but it's probably not. We're probably going to wait until episode 5 for that. And the flashbacks of Kelnacca fighting against Torben and Sol are most likely going to be in the back half of the season too, maybe in episode 5, 6, or 7. So those are also scenes from the back half of the season. So there are a few scenes, although they're far and few between, from these trailers that are in episode 5 or even later, which is pretty cool. Angel says, showing a Sith 100 years before the original trilogy does not break canon. They need to kill everyone who's a witness to not break it, right? Technically, yes. But technically, no. So here's how that works. If the Jedi who come into contact with the Sith survive, and they keep it a secret, then nothing has changed. The canon right now is that Ki-Adi-Mundi said that the Jedi believe that the Sith haven't been around for 1,000 years. And then Yoda and Mace Windu share a weird look. That's the canon. Whether the Sith... We know for a fact, though, as the audience, that the Sith have been around for 1,000 years. Plagueis, Tenebris, they've all been there. They've just not shown their faces to the Jedi until Palpatine comes around. So, canon-wise, the Sith have been around, but the Jedi just don't know about it. Or do they? That's sort of the big question of the Acolyte show in general. Jason says, could these witches possibly be the singing mountain clan of Dathomir? No. I think the mountain clan in Tales of the Empire and the Night Sisters of Dathomir and the Night Sisters of Peridia, they're all different. They're all just different sort of versions of witches. Yes, they all kind of believe the same things, but they're kind of different. It's like in the real world, you look at religion. You look at Christianity and Catholicism and Roman Catholics. They're all under the big overarching umbrella of Christianity, but they're all different. They're all different, like, sort of sprouts of it. And that's sort of what we're looking at here with the witches. You got the Night Sisters. You got over here the witches on Brendock. You got over here the witches, the Mountain Clan on Dathomir. There's just different versions of witches in Star Wars. They all kind of do the same thing, but they're different versions. Yeah. Different sects. Yes. Sects. Sects. There's a T in there. I promise. Yeah. Yaddle's voiced by Bryce Dallas Howard. Indeed, she is, which is awesome. Oh, just scroll down to the bottom. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Hang on, I'm scrolling back up. Oh my God, look at all these chats. Skywalker, happy new Star Wars Day? Is today Star Wars Day? Oh, you mean like because there's a new episode today? Oh, I got you. I was going to say, I don't think it's Star Wars Day today. Vanestra's the one climbing? I don't think so. It looks more like Soul, honestly, from afar. What I don't get is we hear peace is a lie from Chimere in the trailer, but the scene in the apothecary in episode 2, we never actually get him finishing the sentence. What? Hang on.
The Jedi justify their galactic dominance in the name of peace.
But that peace is a lie.
Huh. What? So what we're talking about here is in episode 2, when they have this conversation, May and Chimere in this place, he says peace, and May finishes his sentence by saying is a lie. So he never says peace is a lie. However, if you listen very closely to this, it honestly doesn't sound like Chimere at all when he says peace or is a lie. Listen to the peace specifically.
In the name of peace.
But that peace.
But that peace. Listen, that sounds nothing like Chimere.
But that peace.
Sounds like an old woman.
In the name of peace.
But that peace.
It literally sounds like an old woman. It's a woman's voice. Yeah, it sounds like an old woman.
Is a lie.
And then the is a lie sounds like a combination of the old woman and Chimere. Some more trailer magic here, if I do say so myself. What the hell's going on here? It's edited weird. They did a voiceover. I don't know. It's Coral, or it's Mother Coral? No, I don't think so. Well, let's listen one more time.
Justify their galactic dominance in the name of peace.
But that peace is a lie.
That's so weird. What a great catch. He definitely doesn't say that in the episode. He doesn't say peace is a lie. We know that May cuts him off and finishes his sentence. That is very strange. There's clearly got to be some more stuff like that we don't know about in the trailers that is lying to us, but we really just have no idea what it is. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. My theory is Dot Zipperface cliffhanger at the end of the episode. I agree with that. Yeah. The four Jedi, 4 or 5 of them will die. I could see that too. I think they want to set up the Sith to be obviously very powerful, so they put in these 5 random Jedi, one maybe being Plo Koon, so that they could just die. They're just cannon fodder to this Sith Lord. I agree. Jack Robbins says, I think it will be May's perspective for episode 5. If we get present day Woods fight scene, then it will be the whole episode. Yeah, probably. But May's perspective, I don't think so. Because we kind of got a lot of May's perspective in the last episode. Obviously, it was from Osha's perspective, but May's with Osha almost the entire time. But I think we'll see the Jedi's perspective because May will be there. May, we know, sees the Jedi kind of kill the witches or whatever happens because she's now wanting revenge for what the Jedi did to the witches. So something happens there. Indeed. Okay, let's talk about the new character that's in the thumbnail right now. So let's meet our new character that's going to be in hopefully tonight's episode, and that's why Disney themselves did this. All right, here we go. So this is our new character here. Looks like some sort of rodent of sorts. Basil? Their name is Basil. Like the plant, I guess. So this is Basil. Shout out to Basil. We've seen him in the trailer before. If I can find that really quickly. We just looked at him. Where did the poop? Oh, there we go. This is Basil right there in the trailer. Tiny little thing. So he's on Kofar, I'm guessing. But let's see. Since the moment the Acolyte took us inside of Uedo's noodle shop in the very first scene, the work of the series Creatures Shop has been on full display. We have gotten a lot of creatures in this show. Ooh, look at that look at Kelnacca right there. He looks pretty badass. But we do get some creatures. I think it shows us at the bottom here. Yeah, so you got like the bounty hunter looking dude. Got some weird looking people drinking some noodles. That dude right there. What the heck? That dude right there. And of course some Nemordians. The guy with the thing that comes out of his head. Yeah, we got a bunch of cool aliens, that's for sure, in this Acolyte show. Is it pronounced Basil? Is it actually? Because that's hilarious. It's probably like Basil or something. Basil. Basil. Basil is a he/them? What? He's a he, them? What? Okay. Let's see. Soon the other world. All right, let's see. Where are we talking about this guy? Oh, here we go. Here, the Jedi must employ this tracker named Buzz. I'm calling him Basil because Basil's great. Is great. Basil in their search for the Wookiee of Kelnacca deep in the jungle. So they don't even know where Kelnacca is. He's so in hiding that they don't even know where he is. So they have to hire a tracker. This dude right here. He looks like a furry Maz Kanata almost. They have to hire him to help find Kelnacca, which is pretty cool. So the same people who designed him were the same people behind the Porgs and BB-8, which is cool. But let's take a look at him. So this is Basil. There's him and Yord. Nice. He kind of reminds me of Queel from The Mandalorian a little bit. I have spoken. Oh, that's nice. That's a very close-up of his face. I wonder if like he's an animal where he can sense things better when his eyes are blinded. That's why he has like something over his eyes. That's pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm excited for Basil. Not the food. Not the food. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But let's take a look at Kelnacca here too. This is current day Kelnacca walking through the forest. But this one's pretty cool because we haven't seen him looking like this at all, which is pretty cool. But there you go. We're probably going to get this scene tonight because it means we're going to Kofar with all the Jedi to find Kelnacca. But that actually might mean we're going to be spending more time looking for Kelnacca tonight than actually getting into fights. So I think tonight's episode, with that being said, is probably going to be about more of May and Chimere finding Kelnacca and probably killing him, and then the Jedi looking for Kelnacca, which is probably where we're going to be at. Then the cliffhanger is going to be the Jedi finally find Kelnacca, and yet he's dead, or he's not there, or whatever it may be. He's gone. They find his lightsaber, and then they come into contact with Darth Zipperface. Huge cliffhanger ending. Probably wait till next week to see what happens. That's where I think we're at. Kelnacca dies tonight. Then the episode will leave with a cliffhanger as the fight befins. Sure. Look at all those good cups of all orders. I'm only at the good cups of all orders. I thought I said that like 40 minutes ago. That's crazy. I'm convinced the most popular thing in the world should be more popular. What, Star Wars? I agree. There's always 25% of the Star Wars fandom who like to hate Disney Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a clear divide, and it makes sense from their perspective, I think, that a lot of them see it as they grew up on George Lucas. George Lucas sells the company, and they feel betrayed by that. Think about, like, if you're a sports fan, your favorite player who plays for your team gets traded to a different team. Like, you're going to be upset by that. Yeah. Joseph says, by creators, you mean money-hungry, not Star Wars fans? Yeah, obviously. I thought I was pretty obvious with that one. Low Rider, what's up, Low Rider, says, I wonder if Shmi's parents are even alive during this show. Shmi's parents. Interesting. Like we're going to Tatooine to meet Shmi's parents. That'd be obviously not going to happen, but yeah, Shmi's parents would be alive. Because you got to assume that Shmi's like in her 30s or 40s by the time of the Phantom Menace. That would make her parents probably in their at least 60s, something like that. Maybe not then. Maybe, though. It kind of depends. Could be. Probably not, though. Skywalker Academy says, most people who talk about Star Wars all the time like the show for the most part. Some are a little on the mess side, but they are letting it play out so that they can judge it by the end. Yeah, even people who don't really like the show too much right now are more people who kind of keep it going and keep watching it to see if it's going to get better. Shamrock, what's up, Shamrock, says, it's a good show. A lot of negativity from the fans from past projects too. Yeah, 100%. A lot of the negativity for this show is coming from the past as well. Absolutely. You have the sequel trilogy, which is beyond divisive, but you have other projects too, like The Mandalorian Season 3, which was last year, The Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, Andor even. Even though some of these shows are really good, there's a lot of divide in the fandom when it comes to those shows. So it's all kind of, it's really just growing. It's like a snowball effect. And we've kind of hit a wall here with this Acolyte show where it's all coming to a head. Yeah. Jason Drew says, I don't think the show is going to age well, or age as well as 1977's A New Hope did. It doesn't play or feel like Star Wars. I actually disagree with that. Well, I disagree with part of that. I don't think it'll age as well as A New Hope did, obviously. A New Hope is a masterpiece. But this show not feeling like Star Wars, I actually disagree. I think this show feels the most like Star Wars of a lot of projects in recent past. Just with the aliens and the cantinas and the feel of Coruscant, it feels like some scenes feel like the original trilogy, some scenes feel like the prequel trilogy, and it's a good mix of both. And I actually disagree. I think this has the feel of Star Wars, a lot more than even other Star Wars projects that I really enjoy do. Yeah, I think The Mandalorian has that feel too. Ahsoka has that feel too. Shows like Andor are lacking that feel, but the story's so good that it still works. Yeah. Angel says, the creator of this series talks about why people turn into bad and that they are not truly bad. Osha is a Sith Lord. I think she was probably more talking about May, because May might not truly be bad, but she's going down a darker path. But maybe. 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 They want to shock us with, oh my god, the first main character is the Sith Lord? It could be. Like, a big twist of somebody important is already the Sith Lord. I think people are going to be upset by that. Yeah. You pal Joe, what's up?
Hello there.
I think it's more likely that fans are going to get Marrocked than not again if you try to get your hopes too high that this Sith Lord, this Darth Zipperface, is going to be somebody of significance, somebody that's actually important to the story. Yeah. What software do I use to live stream? Good question. What software do I use to live stream? Streamlabs. I forgot if it was Streamlabs or StreamYards. It's Streamlabs. StreamYards is for like if you're streaming with other people. Streamlabs is more if you're like streaming by yourself. I use Streamlabs and then I go through OBS and through YouTube. Indeed. When is the show out in the UK? I'm not too sure when exactly. I think it's probably like 1 in the morning or 3 in the morning. I could be wrong. But it's about 5 hours and 10 minutes from now, if that helps. 5 hours and 10 minutes from now. Alex, what's up? Sky High says, Kelnacca gets possessed in episode 4 and is back in current day. Yes, then back for more flashbacks later. I think he'll die in episode 4 and then we'll get more flashbacks about what happened with him in the next episode. Very similar to what happened with Torben in episode 2 and 3. Torben dies in episode 2, but then we get more in episode 3. More Torben in episode 3. It's 2 a.m. in the UK. Is the UK all one time zone? Interesting. Interesting. In the trailer, we saw some similar species to Plo Koon. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. Oh, this poll's still up about Plo Koon. Oh my God, with almost 200 votes in on this poll, 59% of you say no, it's not Plo Koon. Oh, I could not hope for more of you to be wrong, ever. I really want it to be Plo Koon, more than anything. Yeah. Thoughts on this episode, Mike? Do you think that we are going to have a big battle? I really don't now. I don't think this big battle between the 8 Jedi and the Sith is going to happen tonight. I think they'll probably push it to episode 5, and we'll have to wait just another episode. Yeah, I don't think so. It's not my favorite so far, but I'm grateful for your non-angry commentary. Well, I appreciate that. That's sort of the goal. That's sort of the goal here, is to have a space where we can talk about it civilly as human beings and not be just yelling and screaming at each other. But I like to yell and scream sometimes. Don't get me wrong. I do like a good yell and scream. But yeah, I appreciate it. Chris says, this show is much better than meh at best. It is very, very good. Great dialogue, writing, acting, directing, story, and cinematography. This show is great. Chris, it's really funny because I get a comment like yours all the time. Just like that. It's great acting, great dialogue, great directing, great cinematography, great choreography, all that. And I agree with you. But then I get the exact same comment, just the reversed. The acting sucks, the cinematography sucks, the fight scenes suck, the writing sucks. Like, it's the exact same, like, who's right? Guess what? It's not a question of who's right and who's wrong. It's all based off of your perspective. Hilarious. What time are we getting on for the watch party? 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 15 minutes before showtime. So whenever the show comes out for you, 15 minutes before that is when the watch party begins. Oh, your pal Joe with the 10-month membership badge. Wow. 10 months, Joe? Whew, that's amazing. I appreciate you. It says 2 months away from 1 year as a member. Let's go. That's freaking wild, Joe. Freaking wild. Almost a year. That's insane. That's wild. Another big piece of news. We just hit 57,000 subscribers yesterday. 57,000 subscribers on the channel. I cannot thank you guys enough. It's absolutely insane. The fact that we're in triple digits right now currently on the live stream is wild. If you're not yet a member, think about becoming a member. You get that awesome, cool lightsaber next to your name. You get instant access to giveaways at the end of every month, which we are coming up on the end of this month right now. So instant access to giveaways and some other cool features as well. If you're not in the Discord yet, there's a free Discord in the description below. Go join that Discord right now. The people who love Star Wars, we're talking about Star Wars all day long in there. Go join that Discord. Yeah, I have to say that every stream, and I always forget to say that every stream, so I forgot. But I remembered. Boom. Okay, back to business. Snow Wolf says, nothing could be worse than last episode. This one has to be better. I think a lot could be worse than last episode, but I agree with you. I think this episode will be a lot better. I mean, even the haters watch the show. That only works if in the show's favor. Yeah, it's funny because clearly people just keep watching even though they hate it. I don't know what that, I don't even know what that is. If I didn't like a show, which I've done in the past, if I don't like a show, I just stop watching it. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to me. Merch store. Yeah, so I'm still working on the merch store in the back. We talked, it came out obviously on my birthday, which was last month. And yeah, we had a few orders in, which got out to the people, and I appreciate you guys. But we're still trying to figure out how to connect it to the channel and all this other stuff, so it's still in the works. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Connor says, I feel like the Sith Lord is the Star Wars fandom. I love your hate. I love your anger. It only makes me stronger. That's hilarious. Nice. People hate Taylor Swift because her music is awful. Okay. Well, again, that's an opinion. Lowdown Show says, I don't think they would do this, But what happens if they decide to release all the rest of the season because of the backlash? They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. Disney sees this as a win. They absolutely see this as a win. The show is getting insane numbers, like Ahsoka numbers. And Ahsoka had The Mandalorian to back it up, Rebels, Clone Wars, a decade plus of backstory for this character to back it up. And almost as many people are watching this Acolyte show. So this is not a loss for Disney at all. This is actually a big win. And it seems like they're just focusing on the fans who like it, and that's what you should do. So they would never do that. Yeah. Sky High says, because the industry pushes her so hard that they hate her. Wait, what? Oh, and her dad bought her first gold album. Literally bought 1,000 copies himself. What are you talking about? Oh, Taylor Swift. I was so lost for a second. I was like, who are we talking about in Star Wars here? That was, okay. People say things like the Acolyte contradicts the Force and ruins the Chosen One, and both of those are completely wrong. Yeah, it's almost like they're just reading headlines and not actually watching the show. You know? Brian says, the shopkeeper is Plagueis, who is the master of the Sith that we haven't met yet. Coral, most likely. But you're talking about Chimere. Chimere can't be Plagueis. Plagueis is a Mun. Chimere is a human. It can't possibly, no, it's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible. From my point of view, the witches are evil. There you go. It's everything is from a certain point of view. Exactly. And this show is pretty much giving us the greatest example of that. From a certain point of view, something happens. From another point of view, something else happens. And that's sort of the flashbacks to Brendock with Osha, what happened with the Jedi, and then we're going to see the other perspective of what happens with May and the Jedi and what really happened. Yeah. There's always three sides to a story. What he said, what she said, and what really happened. Yeah. Well, nitpicking them putting drugs in treats for children is kind of fair, to be honest. What do you mean? You don't want to buy some death sticks? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Jason Drew says, Officer Murdoch says, I am very much looking forward to episode 4. Me too. Jason Drew says, you wouldn't call an auto mechanic if you have a heart attack. I don't know. Does he have a doctorate? Funny. Okay. Where was I? The Jedi Master drinks poison was dumb. Didn't like Torben? Sorry. Honestly, one of the things I think the Acolyte is good at showing is about how your own perspective can skew the truth. That is true. Obviously, Sol and Osha saw one thing, thinking that May died. May saw another. Maybe that the Jedi killed the witches. Maybe the Jedi didn't kill the witches. But something is the truth, and something isn't. They used to put cocaine in Coca-Cola. True. That's why it's called Coca-Cola. It's weird that they didn't change their name, you know? Very strange. Dark Sky says, the show is contradicting. I'm disappointed, but who knows? Okay. Trouble on Demand says, wait, doesn't everybody make 20 videos about things that they don't like? No, can't say I have. Can't say I have. Mars says, I didn't watch this, but I still want to watch how it's gonna fall. Oh, so you haven't watched it yet. Interesting. Ian, what's up? Ian says, if you don't like something, then the off switch is right there. That's true. Yeah. There's no easy money in not watching. What? John Pedro says, it's not the hate that is suspicious. It's the obsession with hate. Yeah, I think that's sort of more goes to what humans are and how humans work. Just people like to argue. It's like something in human nature almost. People like to fight. People like to argue online to the end of their days. Like, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, hate sells. I don't know what it is. It's a human trait, I guess, but it's very strange. It's uneasy, honestly. Scares me a little bit. The Mando United says, Jack is so upset with... What? The scene in Ahsoka with the Purgle and the hyperspace jump going to the next galaxy is genuinely some of the most epic cinema I've watched, period. Yeah, and there's a lot of fans out there that would say that sucks. That changes Star Wars. That ruins Star Wars. What are you going to do? To each their own, I guess. This show is awesome. Can't wait for season 2. How about we can't wait for episode 4? Why are we waiting for season 2? I'm not enjoying all the fan hatred either. They don't even have anything to base all their negative fears onto the Acolyte. I mean, we're only halfway through the show after tonight. Yeah, we're not even halfway through the show. We're only on 3 episodes in of an 8-episode series, and it's like it's the end of the world. It's crazy. Empire Strikes Back is the single greatest sequel ever made. I even take it over The Godfather Part 2. I agree with that. It's the greatest sequel ever created. Yeah. A fight over Star Wars? No way. Imagine. The High Republic era has turned out so interesting. We watched this one group of Jedi 700 years earlier, the Path of the Open Hand, morph throughout time into different groups of witches, maybe. Yeah, so I'm not up to date on phase 2 of the High Republic novels, so I could not tell you what's going on there. But I have heard about the Path of the Open Hand and how they are witches and how they are very similar to sort of the witches that we saw in episode 3. So maybe there's a connection there, but I don't know. Maybe. Shamrock says, tribalism and the ability to say something good without tearing something else down. Yeah. I think it's just like a human nature. They have to tear somebody else down to build themselves up. And it's sad. Officer Murdoch says, I can't say which is my favorite Star Wars movie because I don't want to be hated. Oh no. Is it Star Trek? No, obviously here's the best spot you could do it. Nobody's gonna hate on you even if you said the Rise of Skywalker or The Last Jedi or something, which are my least 2 favorite. I voted Return of the Jedi mainly for the Ewoks. Well, there you go. The Ewoks are the perfect example. Some people think that the Ewoks are really stupid and dumb, teddy bears saving the galaxy, and then some people are like, the Ewoks are awesome. And I'm one of those people. How can you not love the Ewoks? And it goes all the way back to 1983. The Star Wars fandom has always been divided. People have always been hating on Star Wars because it's been such a big franchise since the beginning. They've always had something to complain about. Teddy bears? Really? You got saved by teddy bears? It's crazy. Nestor, what's up, Nestor, says, what I dislike about Ahsoka was all the questions I had at the end of every episode. When the season ended, I was left with even more questions. That's true. But that's because there's going to be a second season, and it was sort of just beginning the heir to the Empire, bringing in Thrawn, which will introduce us to the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and Dave Filoni's movie, and hopefully a third movie, which will finish off the trilogy. But Ahsoka is almost like A New Hope. It's the beginning of this time period, the Mandoverse. Yes, you already had 3 seasons of The Mandalorian in the Book of Boba Fett, but this is the beginning. Ahsoka was really a new hope to this Mandoverse time period. I think the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is going to be great. Dave Filoni's movie is going to be great. Ahsoka season 2 is going to be great. But I think it was really just the beginning. But yeah, there's a lot of questions by the end of that show. Yeah. All right, let's ask the chat. Do you like the Ewoks or not? Let's pull this up. We got 180 votes on this Plo Koon thing, and it's 58% of you guys say no to Plo Koon being in the episode. We'll see. We shall see. Do you like the Ewoks? Yes or no? How do we come to this? How are we putting up a poll right now about the Ewoks? Did you like the Ewoks? Yes or no? Let's hear it. Where are all the teddy bear haters? Yeah. Star Wars Santa says, I'm a bit behind on the live stream. Just got to the Basil discussion. Basil Otter be popular with the fan. Basil Otter be popular. Funny. Okay, now I'm all the way scrolled down here. I gotta go back up. I'm so far behind on chats. How did this happen? You guys are the best. Let's just take a second. You guys are the best. And by the way, 85% of you like the Ewoks. Guess what? That means there's over 15% of you right now that don't like the Ewoks. There you go. Even the cute little furry creatures can't be good. Alex says, what's up, Mike? Just tuning in. Hope your day's going good. It is now. Looking forward to see what goes on tonight in tonight's episode. I can't wait either. And tonight's a great day. A great day indeed. We broke records today. Anyone else playing Hunters? So much more fun than I expected. I haven't played it yet, Connor, but I did want to. I definitely wanted to. I haven't gotten around to it, I should say. I do still want to. It looks cool. Hunters is the new Star Wars video game. It looks pretty cool, I must say. I'm still looking forward to Star Wars Outlaws, too. Yeah. Officer Murdoch says, when Grievous meets Obi-Wan for the first time in the Clone Wars, Grievous greets him by saying, hello there. Therefore, Obi-Wan's hello there was kind of a mocking. Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely, yes. 100%. The Clone Wars does a lot of that, though. One of the coolest things about the Clone Wars animated show is that although they come very close many times throughout the show, Anakin and Grievous never come face to face because the first time they meet is at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith when he says he's shorter than he expected. And actually the reason he says he's shorter than he expected is because Obi-Wan and Ahsoka have been telling him about this massive mechanical creature that is General Grievous. So it's wild that over 7 seasons, Anakin and Grievous never go face to face, which is absolutely wild. But Ahsoka and Grievous do, Obi-Wan and Grievous do, but never Anakin and Grievous. It's very cool. So do you think Sol will get killed, or is he the last one on the list? Oh, because he's the last one on the list? I don't think so. I think Sol will live, and that will kind of lead us to something else, some big twist coming down the line, because I think May will be unsuccessful in killing all 4 of the Jedi. But that might be because of 2 different possible solutions. 1, May turns to the light, or 2, she dies, which I think is probably less likely. So I think it's more likely that she and Osha maybe come back together and hopefully work together with the light side to defeat the Sith, or maybe the Master. I don't know. Something like that. I don't think Sol's going to die, though. He's too cool of a character. I wish Hunters was on Xbox. It's not on Xbox. I don't have Switch, and I really don't like playing mobile games. Yeah, that kind of blows. Yeah. If all 3 Jedi die tonight and it leaves only Sol as the last one on the hit list and there's 4 more episodes, yeah, that is true. But is there a question there? What time are we getting to the watch party? 8:45. 8:45. Oh my God, we've already gone for 2 hours? What the hell? I don't even wear a watch. I feel like the show has the feeling of Star Wars more than the show Andor. Although I did like Andor a lot, it wasn't really Star Wars-y. Yeah, Andor was almost like just like a good show that just existed in Star Wars. Like, it didn't really feel like Star Wars, but that doesn't make it bad. It was still a great show. This show feels like Star Wars, but Andor had better writing so far, at least I think. Again, still a lot of show to cover. An hour and 50 minutes into the stream, and we still have about 116 people. That's awesome. Yeah, this is the biggest stream we've ever had in channel history, so I appreciate all of you guys. Smash a freaking like on this stream if you haven't yet. We're not done yet, but I'm just saying smash a like. This is the biggest stream in channel history, so I appreciate all of you guys more than you'll ever know. And yeah, I appreciate it quite a bit. Your pal Joe says, best channel about Star Wars by far. Well, Joe, I appreciate that quite a bit. I really do. Yeah. Put a smile on my face. I want to love it. I want to love and see myself in a great BH smuggler or Jedi character. BH. Oh, bounty hunter. Bounty hunter. Yeah. What do you guys think you would be if you were in Star Wars? What character would you be? A Jedi, a Sith, a bounty hunter, smuggler? You want to be all three? What is the black thing behind the lightsaber, Mike? Black thing behind the lightsaber? What? Black thing. What lightsaber? What are you talking about? Officer Murdoch, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Any Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes players in here? I've not played that either. That's the mobile game, right? Yeah, I haven't played it. Resistance was way too kid-friendly for me, but it was pretty good. It was pretty great. There's always something to love about everything in Star Wars. I have still not seen Resistance, so I cannot say. B-Man says, I got Streamlabs about a month ago, and I'm trying to get it to work. Yeah, it's a weird setup, but if you just look up on like YouTube, just like how to set up Streamlabs, it's pretty easy once you have help. Yeah, I hated episode 3, but I still have hope. There you go. Your yelling and screaming is fun, Mike. Good to know. Good to know. Episode 3 wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't horrible either. I agree with that. Darth Zipperface is the mother with the horns, being serious. I know you're being serious, but I just don't agree. Mother Coral is saying, I don't think so. I really don't. I just think it's very unlikely that one of the mothers survived the events of that, went completely against the grain of what they believed in, and became a Sith Lord. That just doesn't make sense to me. How many Star Wars shirts do you call your own, Mike? I like the way you phrased that, but how many Star Wars shirts do I have, are you saying? A lot. A lot. I like this one quite a bit. It's like the old Star Wars thing. Pretty cool. I'd say maybe close to 15. I'm not too sure. I'd have to count them. Neil says, I'm still giving the Acolyte a chance, but it isn't making it easy. In my very humble opinion, it's just trying way too hard to be edgy and interesting. Interesting. You know what that comment was? Interesting. No, I totally get it. I mean, I'm glad you're giving it a chance. I'm hoping episode 4 for you is great, but for me, it's good. I don't think it's trying too hard, like you said, but maybe that's something that you see that I don't. My message to all the wound up ones, make it all culture war is may the force be with you always. There you go. How did I get so many subs? It's a long journey. A long journey for sure, B-Man. I mean, we didn't get all these subscribers until last couple months, like last 4 months. I mean, we were sitting at 2,000 subscribers during Ahsoka. We had just hit 2,000 subscribers actually, and this channel is about 4 years old almost, 3.5. So it's been a while. It's been quite a long time. Explore the Force says, mine is Soul. Wait, mine is Soul? Come at me? Yours is Soul what? Oh, Solo. Oh, your favorite Star Wars movie, Solo. Jeez, that was... took me on a whole roller coaster there. I'm definitely not going to come at you. Solo is extremely underrated. It's not my favorite Star Wars movie by far, but it is extremely underrated. Fear leads to hate. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Just kidding. Hate leads to more profits from angry nerf herders out there. The human nature, sadly, but social media made it properly global. There's more of us than them. That's true. That is true. That is true. Zipperface is not a Sith Lord. He's a Sith apprentice. Hence, the apprentice of the apprentice is the Acolyte, the point of the show. That is true, Sky High, but would you also not say that Darth Vader is a Sith Lord? Would you not say that Darth Maul was a Sith Lord? Neither of which became a master. They were both apprentices, and yet still Sith Lords. You know? Maybe Mother Coral was taken by Plagueis to experiment on because she was carrying the twins. See, I like where you guys' heads are at. That's like crazy theory territory, and you know me. I love to go crazy theory territory. But for me, I think it's just simple in this one. I don't think Darth Zipperface is going to be somebody crazy. I actually think he's going to be almost a nobody. And you know me, I like to get Maroked quite a bit. I like to go crazy about who's under the mask. But this time I don't think it's anybody of significance. And maybe just because the last time I was going crazy about Marok and the clone assassin from the Bad Batch, maybe because I'm not going crazy this time, they will give us somebody of significance. But I just don't think it is. And I love where your head's at, but I'm just not there with you. Yeah. Jason Drew says, it's an Ewok village where we see Luke use the Force in a powerful way to lift C-3PO's throne. We see him come a long way from Hoth's Wampa scene where he's training with Yoda. It's about the journey. That is true. But that didn't have to be because of the Ewoks. The Ewoks didn't really have anything to do with that scene. Harvey Dent, what's up, says, how many wives did Yoda have? I'm going to say 0. He's a Jedi and he was not able to marry, but he might have done some off-screen activities with Yaddle. The Jedi had... actually, yeah, I take that back, because the Jedi could have wives. Ki-Adi-Mundi had multiple wives because his species was running low. So, like, he had to keep his species alive, and the Jedi allowed that to happen. But they just, like, kept a keen eye on Ki-Adi-Mundi and make sure that he didn't have too many attachments. I think the same might have happened with Yoda and Yaddle because their species was kind of deteriorating and they had to keep it together. So how many wives did he have? I'm going to say 1, and it's probably Yaddle. Nico says, so glad your channel is taking off. Me too, Nico, but I appreciate it. Kay says, maybe the Sith found out about the children around the same time as the Jedi, and they are responsible for what happened on Brendock. But the Sith wouldn't really care about the children. I don't think. The Jedi only care because they want to bring them in as younglings. The Sith aren't really looking for younglings. You know? James says, I hope we see the Jedi Council members in the show seeing Yoda and even Plo Koon or Ki-Adi-Mundi. It would be cool if they were alive at this point. Well, Plo Koon definitely is. How old is Ki-Adi-Mundi? Another Amber Alert? What the hell's going on? Okay. According to... Ki-Adi-Mundi was born... 93 BBY, and he dies at 19 BBY. Wow, so he's only 57 when he dies. Or wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Why does it say 57 right there? Oh, okay. Oh, that's, wow. So I don't think he'd be alive at the Acolyte. Even if he was, he'd be very, very young. Because the Acolyte says 100 years before the Empire. And does that mean Order 66? Does that mean the original trilogy? There's a big time gap there. But I still think he'd be too young or not alive yet. Yoda probably can't remember because he's nearly 1,000 years old. Maybe. I wish I'd found your channel much sooner. Well, I appreciate that, Mando United, but I'm glad you're here now. That's all I can ask. Yeah. Yoda is obviously alive. I meant Plo Koon and Ki-Adi-Mundi. Yeah, Yoda's definitely alive. But Plo Koon is definitely alive too. Ki-Adi-Mundi most likely not. Yeah. Brocker, what's up, says, glad I found your channel today. Today? That's crazy. The community seems great. It is great, if I do say so myself. When do you guys remember? Do any of you remember when you found this channel? Like, around what time? It's pretty cool to see all these new people coming in. And I appreciate you all quite a bit. But we have some really old timers in the chat, too. The Wizard Cat says, suffering leads to anger. And anger leads to the dark side. Indeed, it does. Indeed it does. Clement18, what's up, says, for me, the Acolyte didn't break the lore. I completely agree. It has not even come close, from being honest. The guy with the mask gives me Kylo Ren vibes, which makes me wonder if that is where Ben Solo got the idea for the mask from. Ooh, that would be kind of cool. You get some sort of play on Kylo Ren and having some influences from Darth Zipperface. That would be kind of cool. The mask is very similar to Kylo's mask. Like the front of it, not so much, but the back is it's almost identical. Yeah. Sky High says, it's like in medieval times, they were called lords of the houses, but other than lower lords, they still called them by the title of lord. So Vader and Maul were lords, but they were apprentices. Palpatine even calls Vader my apprentice. No, I agree with you that they're apprentices. They 100% are. Palpatine's the master. They're the apprentices. But I'm just saying, you said that the apprentice in this Acolyte show, Darth Zipperface, is not a Sith Lord. But that's to say that Darth Vader's not a Sith Lord either. But he is. Yeah. Clearly Yoda and Yaddle did it. Where else would Grogu have come from? Yeah, there was clearly some off-screen activities going on. Yeah. 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 Too many wives cloud your judgment. I'm thinking the Sith have been extinct for a millennia. Oh, into thinking that the Sith have been extinct for a millennia. Ooh, Kiadi-Mundi's judgment has been clouded now. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Grogu is Yoda's child. Did I miss something? Well, it's not been confirmed that Grogu is Yoda's child, but let's be honest. Who else would it be? Like, Grogu is the only baby version of Yoda's species when Yoda and Yaddle are the only two other members of the species that we've ever seen in Star Wars. So it only makes sense that they are the parents to Grogu. Unless Grogu just appeared out of thin air, which only happens to Osha and May and Anakin. Funny. Funny. Sky High says, I misspoke. I just meant that Darth Zipperface isn't a Sith Master at the time. Sorry for misspeaking earlier. Oh, no worries. No worries. Could Yaddle be Yoda's daughter? I hope not. That would make the creation of Grogu very, very wrong. The Force is hanging on by a thread now. Okay. Oppo and Uriel should be alive too. Yeah. Oppo. Yeah. True. The really long bearded dude and the really long toothpick looking mother lover. They definitely should be alive too. Joseph says, Czech 1-0 over Portugal. Upset. In what sport? What are you talking about? Soccer? Football? What are you talking about? John Groom says, Plagueis might not care about the children, but he does care about creating his own Force-sensitive beings, which would be why he takes Coral for experiments as an Acolyte. Interesting. Again, I like where your head's at, but I just don't know if Plagueis knows about that power yet, or at least knows that that the witches have that power. Yeah. Yeah. Today? You found my channel today? 6 months ago? After season 3 after shows? Nice. Last week after episode 3? Nice. Bad Batch season 3? Nice. I hope Grogu isn't related to Yoda and Yaddle, but then how else would he be created? How else would he be created? Could it be the start of the Knights of Ren? No. I think the Knights of Ren already have an established backstory in canon. I'm not really familiar with it, but I'm pretty sure they already have an established canon. And it's been around for actually quite a while. Yeah. An Acolyte is like a Padawan. Yeah, it's like the Sith version of a Padawan. What tech setup do you have? Oh, I got a shit ton of stuff. I got a monitor over here, a monitor over there, a camera right there, a microphone right here, a live sign right there, a chopper right there, a nice chair behind me, a keyboard in front of me. I can't really lift it up. I got a lot. Lights, camera, action. I got a lot. Uriel Poof, indeed. Coral's evil for sure. I like that Coral's gotten the sort of evil, she is the evil character thing, but, a good cop, yes, and a good cop, of course. A good cop, yeah, true. But I just don't think she's that important. I get that she became like a fan favorite character after the last week, but I just don't like it. I'm standing with my theory that Grogu was created by the Force itself. It's not that horrible of a theory, honestly. The Knights of Ren began centuries before the Galactic Civil War. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Kay says, I'm just too interested that Grogu and Anakin were born around the same time. Yeah, it is a little strange. It is a little strange. All right, let me end this poll. Let's see where this poll is at. With 69 votes. Nice. Do you like the Ewoks? 84% of you say yes, but again, 15%, the math is not mathing. 50% of you guys say no. Again, there is no 100% of anything when it comes to the Star Wars fandom. Even if I pulled up, is Empire Strikes Back a good movie, it would probably be not 100%, which is crazy, but we'll see. All right, throw in your last final predictions for this Acolyte episode 4 or forever hold your peace. At least until the watch party. Jason says, do you know that George Lucas's Star Wars, there is an evil Ewok tribe? There's also a good witch clan and an evil witch clan. The Night Sisters and the Singing Mountain clan. Rehire Lucas before he's gone. Well, George Lucas kind of he's retired, obviously. That's why he sold the company in the first place. But he is sort of involved in a lot of the stuff that Dave Filoni does. Dave Filoni likes to bring him to set all the time. He's talked about in interviews recently that he likes to talk with George all the time too. So he's involved in some sort of right. But he's retired. He wants to be doing other things. That's why he sold the company in the first place. So I don't know if George would even want to come back to work on his own show or anything. But if he did, yeah, sign him up. Sign me up to watch that show. Darth Thor says, I'm really enjoying the High Republic era. Me too. Right? Empire Strikes Back is not good. It's great. Nice. Anakin and Grogu were born in the same year? That's true. They were. That's true. Thus why Yoda says that the Chosen One prophecy was misread, and he thinks it was Grogu. When Yoda says there is another in Empire Strikes Back, he's not talking about Leia. He's not talking about Ahsoka. He's not talking about Ezra. He's talking about Grogu? I could see it. Chris says, final prediction. Force Luke shows up and saves the day. World Between Worlds stuff. JK. I'd certainly hope not, because that's not really how the World Between Worlds works, but yeah. JK. Jay says, Kelnacca dies, May kills Kymir and Darth Zipperface and gets killed by Soul, and May gets a lightsaber from a Jedi. Whoa, that's a lot. That's a lot. Soul's going to be the MVP of this episode. I could see that. Darth Thor says, we will see some flashbacks of the Jedi's point of view. Kelnacca will not die just yet. So you think flashbacks are happening tonight? All right, my final predictions for tonight's episode are at this. We get to go to Kofar with May and Kymir first. They find Kelnacca pretty easily, while the Jedi regroup on Coruscant and then go with Plo Koon. Plo Koon will be in the episode, that's my theory. And they go find Basil, our boy Basil, and he's going to help them find Kelnacca. But by the time they find Kelnacca, he will be either dead or gone. Maybe he survives somehow, runs away, whatever. And that's how Jecki gets his lightsaber. And I don't think we're going to see flashbacks tonight, and I don't think we're going to see the fight between the 8 Jedi and the Sith Lord. But we might get a cliffhanger as to that happening next week. And that's where I'm at. But we do have to get on out of here, as we've gone for 2.5 hours, which is one of the longest streams we've done in quite a long time. And this was a record-breaking stream. We've been at almost 100 current viewers the entire stream, almost the entire stream, for the majority of the stream. And we broke the record, which was before 131 current viewers. And I think we got to 137 at the most, but I'll have to double check. But that is a new record, so I appreciate all of you guys so much more than you ever know. Smash a like on this stream if you have not yet. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video in my pretty face. I'll show up with the recommended feed of yours. Watch over the watch party later on at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so in about 4 hours. And watch over a breakdown video tomorrow morning. I'm probably going to try and post it again at 6 a.m., maybe 8 a.m. I'm trying to find a good spot to put it out. We'll see. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. But I'm going to try and get that breakdown out as soon as possible. So, yeah. All right. I appreciate you guys. So is it out? No, it's not out for the next 4.5 hours. Something like that. Yeah, 4.5 hours. That is true. All right. I appreciate you guys. Hang on. Star Wars Santa says, final predictions. There will still be trailer scenes that we haven't seen after this episode. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Okay. Okay. I agree. Who's we? What do you mean we? We? We as community, I guess. I don't even know. All right. I appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. That's not what I say now. What am I doing? I'm all out of it. And may the force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate every last one of you more than you will ever know. This was the best live stream of all time in channel history. So I appreciate all of you guys for being part of this history on this, being part of history on this channel. I appreciate all of you so much. Take that, you Lakers fans. And yeah, Celtics champions. Fan-freaking-tastic. Love to see it. Big Celtics guy myself. And yeah, hopefully this episode's going to be great. I appreciate all you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives. See you later in the watch party. And good night, everybody.